2026 second-round pick in exchange for big man Kelly Olynk. The Spurs also finished up California Summer League play with the last second loss to the Los Angeles Lakers, falling 89-88. In the NFL, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, in a ranking by NFL coaches, scouts, and executives, listed their top 10 edge rushers in the NFL. Myles Garrett came in first, T.J. Watt second, and Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys third, according to league officials. The Texans had two in the top 10, with Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter ranked 8th and 9th.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hump day.
That's all you're getting from me. Not even me.
Hump day.
Dude, right off the bat, Jacob Eric on our YouTube channel is like, is Minix going to wear Hump Day with Reinagel on vacation?
Hump
No,
day.
I'm not going to yell that. That's a Reinagel thing, and then AJ's trying to knock it off. But I know a lot of people like to do that. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. As mentioned, Joe Reinagel on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Paul Salazar sent us a tweet earlier. I guess he's got a kid named PJ who was somewhere with Jeremy Sohan, and PJ got Jeremy to participate.
Welcome back to my channel. We here, Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan, can I get a hump day, baby? Let's go! Go Spurs, go, baby!
Now, he tweeted that to us a little while ago. I have no idea any other context. Where were they? How'd he go? But he got Jeremy Sohan to yell Hump Day, which somewhere drunk on a beach in Mexico, that would make Joe Reinagel smile if he is coherent enough to understand what was just said, which I kind of hope not. You know how that works. Kind of one of those things. Anyway, that's pretty cool, getting Jeremy Sohan to do a hump day, which makes me wonder if there needs to be a challenge out there. You know, when you're out and about somewhere, especially on a Wednesday, and you see a celebrity, get them to do a hump day. Get them to do that. And then tweet it to us at Joe Reinagel 210, at Jason Minix, at I Am Pledger, because we'll have fun with that all day. Because I'm not going to do that. That's Reinagel's thing. But Jeremy Sohan could do that. He's still a Spur. Spurs did make a trade yesterday. Big trade. Well, big. And this is what I love about Spurs fans. We love all our guys. You'll complain. You'll this, you'll that. Need to do this, need to do that. And Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley get traded. And people are upset. People are upset. And I get it. Great dudes. I saw Tim Morrow. Apparently one's his neighbor. Great with the family. Great with Tim's kids. Getting personal. I get that. It's part of the business. And for a couple of first-round draft picks, they haven't developed the way everybody thought they would be. All the guards we have, you shouldn't be surprised that one or both of those guys, and in this case, gone in the same trade. Kelly Olynk is on his way here. That is good for the San Antonio Spurs. That is great for the San Antonio Spurs. Another one of those really good, sneaky moves. We'll talk more about it coming up. Our friend Antonio Daniels will join us. Of course, Kelly, who has been well-traveled recently, and I don't know if he should rent an apartment or just stay in an extended stay hotel, because that's how it's been for him lately. Had a stop in New Orleans last year. AD knows him well enough. Antonio Daniels will join us. You know, last week while I was on vacation, The Athletic put out their Cowboy fan survey. And our friend John Machota from The Athletic has the results of the Cowboy fan survey today up on The Athletic. Now, the one part of it that just cracks me up, there's not really a lot of surprises from Cowboy fans on the Cowboy fan survey. But how is one player voted the most underrated player and the same dude is voted the most overrated player? How can it be both?
Here we go.
And it is, of course, Dak Prescott, voted as the team's most underrated player, as well as the team's most overrated player.
That was pure guess on my part.
Well, it was an educated guess. I mean, it's a good guess. I mean, it wasn't going to be, I don't know, Trayvon Diggs, who is the second on the most overrated player.
It don't be working out.
But I look at it with Diggs, it's probably because he's hurt. Others that made the most overrated list, Micah Parsons, Jake Ferguson, Terrence Steele, Deron Bland, Donovan Wilson, Osi Odigizua, CeeDee Lamb, and Mozzie Smith. Underrated players, second on the list is Deron Bland, Tyler Smith, Osa, Ferguson, Turpin, Cooper Beebe, Brandon Aubrey. Now, Brandon Aubrey, do you understand what underrated means? 41 people voted for Brandon Aubrey.
Do they understand what overrated means?
Well,
Micah Parsons on that list, the third best edge rusher according to NFL people in the NFL.
I mean, hates hate. I mean, sports hate. Again, it is kind of like Tyrese Halliburton voted the most overrated player in the NBA. There are a lot of people that are looking at that saying, granted, how do you define overrated? How do you define underrated? And for a lot of people, that's a different definition. Nobody is consulting Webster's to try to figure that out when they see a question, right? They're not. It's like the dude in Kansas City who's mad at Patrick Mahomes because of his love of fast food because Patrick Mahomes looks out of shape. Dude, seriously? I know it's about getting attention, but that's not the attention you're looking for when you say something idiotic like that. I mean, we've seen pro athletes show up fat and out of shape, and their performance shows that. Bring in Luka, for example. The Mavericks might have said he was overweight and out of shape. He drugged that team to the finals. I've said if that dude wants a beer and a cigarette and a hot dog on the bench, you give it to him. Now, granted, looks like in L.A. he's spending more time in the weight room. Message received. Mix in a sit-up and a salad. I get that. But honestly, there are some dudes that can perform at that level. In Mahomes, I don't know that he's out of shape. Some people just can't develop a six-pack no matter what they do. Now, I think the prime example is you go look at like Tom Brady's draft photo. Remember that? I mean, he gets mad every year when they show it. That dude spent gazillions of dollars in doing a whole bunch of weird stuff to look the way he does. Not everybody's going to do that, but that doesn't mean they're out of shape. You can't play in the NFL and be out of shape. I mean, you just can't. And quite frankly, with what Mahomes does on the field, it doesn't matter. If the dude loves Taco Bell, he owns a Whataburger out there. If he's spending too much time at the Whataburger, fine. Whatever, if he's winning football games. His weight has not been an issue in his performance. But he's never had a sculpted body. I mean, even go back and see him at Texas Tech or when he was in high school, and you see pictures with the shirt off, and you go, that right there is the physique of a pro athlete. It makes for good jokes, but let's be real. I don't even know, and I'm not in shape, so I'm not saying much, but I know there's a lot of high school athletes right now that couldn't do Patrick Mahomes' warm-up. You know, James Pledger, who fancies himself as an athlete, couldn't do Patrick Mahomes' warm-up. One of the great videos out there is Aaron Donald. There was a Make-A-Wish kid that wanted to do a workout with Aaron Donald, and as the story goes, this kid was puking in a trash can within minutes because he wanted to go through the actual workout. I mean, what those guys can do truly is incredible. No matter how you naturally look, it's comical. There's also an interesting tweet that I got earlier from our friend Josh Jimenez, speaking of Aaron Donald. Because it is that time of year where you get lists and comparisons that don't really matter. Who's the greatest defensive player of the 2010s? Is it J.J. Watt or is it Aaron Donald? Who's better? Without looking at numbers, I'm going J.J. Watt. But then when you look at the numbers, they skew J.J. Watt, but Aaron Donald has a ring. Aaron Donald has a ring. And if that matters to you when it comes to the quarterbacks, does it not matter for a defensive player? Right? But when you look at solo tackles, Aaron Donald, 337, J.J. Watt, 448. Sacks, 114.5 for J.J., Aaron Donald, 111. Forced fumbles, J.J. Watt wins that too, 27-24. Pass deflections, not a contest, 70-21 in favor of J.J. Watt. Pro Bowls, Aaron Donald, 10. J.J., 5. Super Bowl wins, Aaron Donald, 1. J.J., none. I'd still go J.J. Watt. But the way we compare everybody, rings matter. But only when you're talking about a quarterback. Or only when your argument doesn't require that. Because, again, we always move the line on how we're going to judge things. And I really do hate when you try to compare players. Great is great. Who's greater? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. No surprise that a diehard Texan fan would say J.J. Watt. The numbers certainly say J.J. until you get to Pro Bowls and Super Bowls. What matters most? Championships. Aaron Donald has one. J.J. Watt never came close to one. I don't know. I remember meeting Aaron Donald at a Super Bowl one time. He was doing a deal with Mountain Dew and had that weird monkey thing, that puppy monkey baby deal. That was pretty entertaining. Both great dudes. Off the field, I'd probably give the nod. Not probably. I'd give the nod to J.J. Watt. Great dude. But who's better? Who's the greatest defensive player? If you were picking, which, you're not going to go wrong either way looking back. Resume says J.J. Super Bowl says Aaron Donald. You tell me. First one to the Hall of Fame, I guess, wins that argument. Interesting. Let's talk about the new Spur. Spurs do make a trade last night. Another sneaky good move for Brian Wright and the San Antonio Spurs. Kelly Olynk, now a member of the Silver and Black, as we say goodbye to Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley. We'll dive into that coming up here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available for both residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. They do fantastic work and have for well over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. And whatever your project is, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price. Never a service charge, always free estimates. So it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. I know at my house they've added extra outlets in the garage because the builder never puts enough in there. Dimmer lights in the living room. They put a spotlight over one of the grills outside. Got a note the other day thanking me for recommending Hill Electric because they needed a light moved in the house, and then they added another light into a closet. Seems easy enough, but they were able to get it done. Another company said it couldn't get done. Hill Electric, they got it done. That's what they do. Call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
94. Sponsored in part by Las Palapas, Array, the College of Healthcare Professionals, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, new squid on the block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com.
In sports, it's the dream team. And if your car is out of warranty, there's a team for that as well. You, the driver, your mechanic, and Endurance to pay for the repair bills. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance auto protection plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you can never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-298-9302. That's 800-298-9302. 800-298-9302.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Wednesday afternoon. If you're driving around listening on 94.1, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can comment there. Hit the thumbs up button while you are there. And let's talk trade. You guys excited about the newest member of the San Antonio Spurs? And of course, they wait until yesterday's show was over. Like, I had just gotten home, starting to sit down, searching for the new episode of Quarterback Season 2 on Netflix, and then my phone starts blowing up that the Spurs had made a move. Kelly Olynk is now a member of the San Antonio Spurs. Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, gone, along with a second-round pick. Good move for the San Antonio Spurs, a sneaky good move, because let's be honest, we got a lot of guards Front court was another issue, right? So Luke Cornett, that deal's done. And now you get Kelly Olynk, who's, you can call him a center, you can call him a power forward, right? He's 4, he's a 5. Duke can shoot the 3, too, right? Now, he's a journeyman. He's been a journeyman. But he can knock down the 3. I look at this kind of like with Cornett. Not flashy, certainly not sexy, but a role player that the Spurs need and a role player that understands his role. Now, he's been well-traveled recently. He'll be at an extended stay. He ain't signing a lease anywhere. And there was a weird tweet I saw from Bobby Marks. He could be flipped within the next 2 months based on his contract. I don't know what the Spurs' plans are, but they were so deep at guard, there was no place for Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley to go. And while they're good dudes, they didn't work here. And I know some people, you get attached. You get attached. Maybe those guys can go somewhere else and flourish, but they weren't going to flourish in San Antonio. Not with the Spurs. Not with what the Spurs have done at that position. Those are a couple of first-round picks that, I mean, they didn't work. Can't call them a bust, but they didn't work. Part of the business. And you hate to see it. It's kind of like Derek White. Now, Derek White was working here, but the Spurs needed to make that move to do some other things, and that guy has flourished elsewhere. And the Spurs do have a history of getting guys that work, and then they flourish somewhere else because the roster. Now, during the big 3 years, there was a lot of that because, I mean, let's face it, there was no room for them to grow. This was a necessary move. And you look at what Brian Wright has done. You go, and I saw this earlier on Twitter. Let's see if I can find it real quick. The guys that have come in versus the guys that have gone out. And it's a pretty remarkable list. And you think about how good Brian Wright is doing. Let me see who tweeted this out. Because I saw it from Tom Petrini from something called the Silver and Black Coffee Hour. Out, Collins, Jones, C.D. Sissisco, Devontae Graham, Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, Mamu, and some picks. In, Fox, CP3, Barnes, and Chris Paul is on his way out. Castle, Harper, Carter Bryant, Cornett, Olynk, all the different swaps. I mean, Brian Wright has been doing some work. Now, granted, not maybe as fast enough as I personally wanted, but one of the things that the Spurs organization is doing, their thought process different than yours, different than mine, based on all the different interactions we've had getting ready for this offseason. Man, we need the sniper. We need to go get that knockdown three-point shooter. You know what the Spurs have done? We need to fix our defense first. Now, I think part of that, we have no idea what Mitch Johnson is going to be like as a head coach. Where are his priorities? As an organization, this kind of feels like back in the day with Pop and, you know, defense. Not that we're getting back to games that are won 87-83, but focus on rebounding, focus on size, focus on getting stops. Saw it last night in the Summer League game against the Lakers. Turnovers in the fourth quarter, lack of rebounding, leading to easy shots for the Lakers, and the Lakers end up winning the game. It's Summer League. Nobody gives a damn. In fact, nobody saw it because they didn't let fans in the building, which was one of the weirder things about that game last night. And I don't know, I mean, how much of it you watched. I only watched a little bit of it, to be honest with you, because, I mean, I saw the Chupacabra, and then I went away.
25 again for the Chupacabra.
Dude, 25 points for that dude again. And I want to see what he can do in Las Vegas, but is he finding a spot for him? Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, another good sneaky move for the San Antonio Spurs. Building the roster with role players, veteran role players. not expensive role players. Part of it. As far as the game last night, they lose. Mike Noyes, the Summer League head coach, I thought it was pretty funny when he talked about the fact that nobody was in the building.
It has been a fun 4 days. We have a really good group in a very quiet, fanless arena tonight.
Fanless.
There was great energy on both sides.
There was no energy.
Their energy was terrific, too.
No, it wasn't.
Again, this makes us more prepared for the real show in Vegas, and we are very excited.
No fans makes you more prepared? What is this, COVID?
It kind of feels that way. I saw a tweet from Jeff McDonald from the San Antonio Express News. He tweeted out he was told the Warriors did not sell tickets to the weekday events of their version of the California Classic because it would cost more to open the building than the revenue that they would take in. So the games that were there yesterday were broadcast only. And I can't even say that Summer League is a made-for-TV event. Everybody's just trying to get to Vegas. That feels like the real thing. But I don't know. I mean, how many of you watched the whole game last night? I watched part of it, but I was like, man, this kind of sucks. Carter Bryant, he wasn't very good last night. Although, as Coach said, he would probably tell you the same thing.
Carter had probably a rough one, if I were to say. I think he'd say the same thing. He's way too hard on himself. He had a rough one, and you look at the box score, he'd probably say he plays so hard, he cares so much, and this is not about him playing great or terrible. This is about him getting better, getting used to things. I thought playing in a close game the last 5 minutes was the best thing for him. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to have success. That's how you learn. That's the whole point of Summer League.
And again, 2 of 8 shooting last night, 2 of 7 from 3, finished with 9 points. Did have a couple of nice block shots, though. And again, for him, how is he doing on defense? That's what you're looking for most. Now, again, Golden State, they didn't sell tickets because they said the revenue wasn't there, even though
Bronny has earned that.
Was in the building, although he sucked last night, too. 1 of 5, 2 whole points in 15 minutes of action. What do you do? Everybody's phone's going off.
Child abduction.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Brownswood?
Completely sidetracked with this. Are we all now paying a little bit more attention to the alerts on our phone if it's some sort of a flood watch or warning? My first thought, is it raining? What's going on with my phone? Sorry. I was like, whoa. And I could hear pledges from, my sound is off and it was still making noise. I could hear pledges from across he's in the glass box of fun. It's supposed to be soundproof, yet it's not. And it's like, uh-oh.
They really wanted you to know about this.
Well, again, I mean, but how often do we get those and we ignore them? Right now, maybe a little bit more on a heightened sense of, uh-oh, what's going on? Is that me?
I did learn something over the weekend.
What did you learn?
The New Braunfels River has those actual alert systems on it.
The sirens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For those of you that don't know, for 8 years, I worked at the radio station in New Braunfels. And the 98 flood, which I was working there, and I'll never forget that one because, we did a Canyon Smithson Valley game. They moved up the time because they knew rain was coming. They didn't know it was going to be that bad. Get back to the station. Things are getting a little crazy, and the boss was like, hey, we might have to pull an all-nighter here. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And the next morning, now, if you're familiar with New Braunfels, the radio station is located on Loop 337, right by the Guadalupe, right by the green exit. And the next morning, walking out towards the river, and at the top of those trees, and that's when the bridge was low, the top of the trees, those trees are tall. Have you ever been to the gristmill? You look down on those trees. But I remember seeing 2 cows, a couple of picnic tables, and a small car in the trees, along with a bunch of other stuff. And you realize how high that water got. Then they had the flood in 2002. I was on vacation for that one. I'll never forget sitting in the Seattle airport and seeing houses going down the river, and they've never rebuilt in that area, but I believe that's when they added all the different sirens in the different alerts that are up there. You go through a couple of those, and I'm going to guess they'll have sirens in Kerrville before long. The whole thing is just sad and scary, and the difference between flash flooding, which you get very little warning, like all the people that lost their lives a couple weeks ago here by the radio station in that creek off of Parambital. You see those flash floods, there's nothing you can do. The people that I see driving through water and getting stuck, I got very little patience or empathy for them, because water is powerful. Just, time in the Navy, you see what water can do, and it's powerful. And water wins every time. Water is going to win. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Big 12 Media Days are continuing up in Dallas, and the Bible arrived in my mailbox. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Let's talk about it coming up here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs are back in business. Games played in Vegas. We'll talk about it.
And football's inching ever closer. We'll talk Micah's contract and if that's ever going to get done, and some college football. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Big 12 Media Days continue up in Dallas. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Ryan Egel is on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Appreciate you tuning in on this Wednesday. This morning, I was watching so much of the Big 12 Media Day coverage. Talking season, to me, is fun. And what I found interesting is listening to all these different coaches going around doing the interviews, whether they were talking to Pete Thamel or one-on-one or the set with the dudes from ESPN, because the portal has been such a game changer. And for me, the Big 12, now that Texas is in the SEC, A&M is in the SEC, UTSA in the American, the teams that I follow the most aren't in the Big 12. I used to be a Big 12 guy. That changed as soon as Texas left. My daughter just graduated from Arizona State, so ASU became my de facto Big 12 team, just because that's where the money was going. So, forks up. I like Texas Tech. I love what Joey McGuire is doing over there. Baylor, Dave Aranda is probably on the biggest hot seat. But and listening to Mike Gundy talk is always entertaining. But listening to a variety of coaches talk, the consistency of all these new dudes that they have and what a challenge it's going to be because of the portal. And quite frankly, you learn things because there's been so much movement, it's hard to keep up with, right? I did not realize that Eric Morris up there at North Texas lost his quarterback. That Morris kid is gone. I think he's in Virginia now, right? Or somewhere. Took the money and ran. And so many, in which makes you go, boy, when Jeff Traylor talks about, Owen McCown taking less money to stay. Now, granted, Morris was a rich kid too. McCown, his dad was in the NFL, but he wanted his money. Says a lot to me about Owen McCown, but also about the program that Jeff Traylor is running. The trust, the relationship between coach and player. Matt Campbell at Iowa State talked about something very similar. He said that his top 20 guys are still with the Cyclones, even though they could have made more money by hitting the portal.
The positive when I look at our own team is, we were able to retain our football team. I think it says a lot about Iowa State football. I think if you looked at the top 20 guys in our program, probably could have made a heck of a lot more money at a lot of other places, and we were able to keep our kids home, and I think that was huge. And, my hope is that we continue to build forward from an administration standpoint, from a university standpoint, that we continue to have the resources to be able to compete at a really high level, because player acquisition is going to be critical for any team to be successful.
It is, and the reality is, well, we all say it's all about the money. And look, some of the money being thrown around by places like Texas Tech, hard to turn that down. Even if you're destined for the NFL, hard to turn that money down. And if you're a college kid, knowing how tough it is to make it to the NFL, if somebody wants to give you a couple $1 million, you talk about a jump start on your life. How do you not take that? But relationship, environment, it does matter. And Mike Gundy was talking about, he's got about 20 dudes that showed up on June 1st. He's never seen them practice. But you went and got them, you expect to play them. If you go out as a coaching staff and bring in these guys, you expect to play them. Otherwise, why did you go get them? Why are you paying them? The people that are writing the checks expect to see those guys performing on the field. And then Mike Gundy said something that I thought was kind of interesting. This new landscape of college football, that's motivating.
Roster management now is 105, and then you get an additional players. I don't know what that title they're calling them, but basically walk-ons. So we should be at around 115, and I'm going to guess that 60% of those players weren't here last year. So if I was to try to use that, they would be scratching their head and really wondering what I was talking about. So I think it's important that each individual player has to find a way to motivate themselves in order to benefit our team. Now, we could have players that were on our team last year that are motivated by that, and that's okay. We're all different. Things that motivate me, the new trend, trying to stay on the cutting edge of the future of college football, learning more about the business side of college football. So that would be an example of what would motivate me to continue for our team to play well and win football games.
And again, I find that interesting. You look at the Oklahoma State quarterback situation. There's like 4 One's been there but hurt. One's been there, they didn't play. 2 have never been there. And he said, I've got to figure out who the player is, and then I'll build a system around it. But they brought in a lot of players. The turnover is pretty incredible. Not just in Stillwater, but it was consistent with all these coaches that were talking today. Even Dillingham at Arizona State. They've got some guys back, and they were able, because they had that run last year, winning the Big 12 championship, getting into the college football playoff, having a Heisman-caliber quarterback. They were able to get guys that wouldn't even pick up their phone for Dilly a couple of years ago. It's fascinating, but they all have a lot of new faces on the roster. Now they've got to build the team. And it's one thing to have a bunch of great athletes, but can you create that into a great team? And then I'll circle back to Texas Tech, because we've been talking about it for a long time. Joey McGuire as a rich booster that's willing to write checks. And that dude is trying to buy a championship. You look at Texas Tech and tell me that Joey McGuire is not on the hot seat. If they don't get it done, is he going to be able to keep his job? And the way college athletics are right now, with this much revenue at stake, with the revenue share, I think it's more than just the head football coach. I think the athletic director and maybe even the school president is going to be held a little bit more accountable for the results of the football team, where it used to just be the coach, because now you have so much money at stake. And you take any business out there, revenue, how you're spending your money, how you're making money, how you're divvying up that money, that accountability is there. You go to any company out there, how they're spending money, is it smart? Are they doing the right things with the revenues? Are they outraising the right money? I would imagine there are people at universities that have new responsibilities and probably goals that they have to reach in generating revenue. And if they don't reach them, are they going to be held accountable, or are they going to be out of a job? Right? Any sales job, if you're not hitting your goal, you're out, because they need it now. But that puts the president on the hook, the athletic director on the hook, not just the football coach that's on the hook, especially when you're spending money like Texas Tech is. Texas. And I mean, these schools that are spending big money, they're going to want the results. It's fascinating when you hear all these coaches talk. Now, there's some expectations are getting into a good bowl game. There are schools out there, even in the Big 12, that know they're not ready for the college football playoff. They're not trying to buy a championship. They're trying to buy a winning season and a bowl game. They understand who they are when they look in the mirror. Other programs, they see something completely different in the mirror. They're a 6, but when they look in the mirror, they see a 10, and that's not reality, right? So I look at what is going on. I think this football season is going to be fascinating, and quite frankly, trying to keep up with it is difficult. The Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, I got it in the mail this morning. Sark is on the cover. Now, I haven't gone through the whole thing yet, just some of the college football parts of it. But I'm curious, with this magazine, when they've got like projected depth charts, when they put those together, how many people are actually not on that team anymore that were on a depth chart? Same thing we talked about yesterday when Phil Still joined us from Phil Still's College Football Preview magazine. Difficult to put those things together when there is so much movement, especially so late in the year. Now, as it sits right now, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, and I find this interesting on the college football aspects. I have gone through a little bit of it and made a whole bunch of copies just to make life easy and give Pledge some reading earlier because I'm taking the magazine with me. Number one, Texas FBS team. There are 13 FBS programs in the state of Texas. No surprise, Texas is number one. But Pledge, if I were to ask you, who do you think is number 2 on the list, who would you guess?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech would be 2. 3?
A&M.
All right, that's good. Who's number 4?
Houston?
No. Houston's number 7.
Oh, wow. All right. So would it be UTSA or Texas State?
That would be both wrong. SMU.
Oh, yeah.
Well, again, SMU spending all this money, they're right up there. I was a little surprised to see Texas Tech ahead of Texas A&M, to be honest. I was surprised to see Texas Tech at number 2. Baylor is at number 5, TCU at 6, which is a bit of a surprise. Houston at 7, UTSA at number 8. North Texas at 9, Texas State at 10, then UTEP, Rice, and the Sam Houston Bearcats, they're at number 13. They're ranked last. Although I think Phil Longo is the new head coach there. He replaces Casey Keeler, who is off to Temple. Now, granted, they moved up to Conference USA, but I'd be surprised if Sam Houston ended up being that bad.
Completely forgot about SMU, who was in the college football playoff last year.
Well, I mean, again, now an SMU type is going to say, how is that possible? But SMU, they're doing it, I don't know, quietly when it comes to statewide. Texas Tech.
They're loud.
Baylor. I mean, those are programs that have been good, not great. I mean, there was a time not long ago where Baylor might have had the best overall athletic department in the state of Texas. Yet, nobody really wanted to give them credit for that. Baylor could win the Big 12 this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Baylor won the Big 12 this year. Then again, if they have another bad season, I think Dave Aranda is out, right? I mean, I'm surprised he's still the coach, to be quite honest. But Baylor, they've given him an opportunity, and they've done a lot of good work, but seemingly unnoticed, where Texas Tech, they've gotten a big old megaphone, and they're telling everybody what they're doing. And, you know, come to Lubbock, check it out. It's not what you think. And you know what? They're right. I mean, there are a lot of things about Lubbock, if you were there 20 years ago, that are completely different now. Been a while since I've been to Lubbock, but when I see videos and pictures of Lubbock, I'm like, where's that? You're kidding. I've got a friend that works at a Lubbock radio station, part of our Alpha Media family, and you know, he tells me all the time I need to come out there. They got a good barbecue spot he wants to take me to, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, I don't want to go to Lubbock. I mean, no. But you see the video and the pictures, they have spent not only the school, but the city. It's completely different.
Yeah, I play golf with a guy that works at the basketball gym there for the Red Raiders, part of the athletic facility. The amount of money that they're dumping into everything in Lubbock is absurd. And you said they're announcing it with a megaphone, but it also kind of feels like, go win a title or you're out of here, Joey.
I mean, for Joey McGuire and the money that they're getting, they've got to do something this year. Yet, what we don't know inside their offices, what are they talking about when it comes to realistic expectations? The person that is holding Joey McGuire accountable, what are their realistic expectations? They might have a stretch goal of a national championship, but where are they really? Now, granted, writers' polls are writers' polls. Those are opinions. Find this kind of fascinating in Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Best head coach in the state of everybody else goes with Steve Sarkisian, except for two people go Rhett Lashley at SMU. Joey McGuire doesn't make the list. Neither does Dave Aranda. Or Mike Elko, for that matter. By the end of the season, which coaches seat list? Aranda, Sonny Dykes, Joey McGuire, Eric Morris, and Scotty Walden, who apparently is the head coach at UTEP. Found that interesting. Which kind of makes it like Sark, expectations are so high, even if they fall flat, he's not going to be on the hot seat. I'm surprised more are looking at Aranda than Joey McGuire. To me, Joey McGuire might have one of the hottest seats in the country because of the money, unless, of course, they're being realistic with their expectations. Who will win the Big 12? There are 4 that vote for Texas Tech, 1 for Baylor, 4 for Kansas State. Who will win the SEC? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 say the Texas Longhorns. 2 say Georgia. 1 says Alabama. Granted, this is Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Keep that in mind. Nobody is picking the UTSA Roadrunners to win the American, which I find interesting. 2 have the Longhorns winning the national championship. 3 have Penn State winning the national championship. 2 have the Oregon Ducks winning the national championship. And 1 has Ohio State winning the national championship, which I find kind of interesting. As far as like individual schools that we care about, as far as the Texas Longhorns concerned, Dave Campbell's is predicting they go 10-2, with the 2 losses being the opener at Ohio State and their road game at Georgia. Ceiling, they say, is 12-0, the floor 8-4. For Texas A&M, they are predicting an 8-4 season, a ceiling of 10-2, a floor of 5-7. And for the UTSA Roadrunners, this is where I'm like, really? They've got the Roadrunners going 8-4, 5-3 in conference play, ceiling of 11-1, floor of 6-6. And I really do expect a big bounce back year for UTSA. According to Dave Campbell's, the biggest game for the Roadrunners this year, September 6th against Texas State. They say the trap game is the Temple game coming up October 4th in Philadelphia. Of course, Casey Keeler, who was the head coach at Sam Houston, is now the head coach there at Temple. Their upset game, they've got Army. Of course, Jeff Traylor doesn't lose in the Alamo Dome. What are they, 29-4, 29-4 in the Alamo Dome under Jeff Traylor? It's some ridiculous record. But their prediction is they lose that game when they go the game-by-game win-loss. They have UTSA losing to A&M, losing at North Texas, which surprises me. Pledge has 29-3 is the record. He looked it up. Tulane, they'll lose that game, which is at home, and Army at home. I have a hard time believing UTSA is going to lose 2 home games this year. But they got them beating Texas State. I don't know. Love Dave Campbell's Texas football. Because when this one comes in the mail and Phil Steele's magazine is out, you know football is just right around the corner. You can feel it. You understand we are that close. Some of the high school stuff, and I'll get into that later. A lot of really interesting stuff there when it comes to the high schools, although no real surprises when it comes to the preseason predictions. I can't wait for a high school football season this year. I've got the schedule already put together. A lot of good games. Going to some places we've never been before, too, which will be a lot of fun. Haven't been to in a long time, although I've never been to Titan Stadium for Southwest Legacy. We're going to do that game. Last year we were at Southwest. Now we're going to Southwest Legacy this year. Been forever since I've been out to East Central. We're going to do a game out there as well. I was talking about it earlier with Grumpy Ask Greg Shelton because he's got to go do site checks to make sure everything works at all those places. And Greg likes it when we just go to one stadium, so he only has to do bare minimum work, which is his specialty. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Next Tuesday, the Blitz is going to be live out at the Rue Pub there at 281 and at Redland Road as we get ready for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. And you know if there's any big game, any big event, no better place to go than the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. And when you get into the Rue Pub, go hungry. The food is fantastic. The biggest and best wings in town. I love their fried shrimp, all the different burgers they have on the menu, their chicken sandwich, the hot dogs. And, dude, it's Wednesday. It is steak night out at the Rue Pub. Get in there, that 12-ounce ribeye, Potato salad for $19.95. You cannot beat that deal, and it is a great steak there at the Roo Pub. So tonight, go into the Roo. Get there. Steak night. Can't beat that deal. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub, just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Riding home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
In college football, the Big 12 announced at their media day that their partnership with the WWE will include WWE SmackDown broadcasts in 4 Big 12 markets during the college football season that will occur at some of their bigger games. The Spurs made a trade late yesterday afternoon with the Washington Wizards, sending Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, and a 2026 second-round pick in exchange for big man Kelly Olynk. The Spurs also finished up California Summer League play with the last-second loss for the Los Angeles Lakers, falling 89-88. Up next is the Las Vegas Summer League, which starts tomorrow at 9 for the Spurs when they take on the 76ers.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons
The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hump day. Ryan Eagle's not here to yell at you and to scream, hump day. He's on vacation. He's drunk on a beach in Mexico, I promise you. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Jason Minix. Not going to yell at you, but I appreciate the hump day that Ryan Eagle does, and that's his thing. And so I'm not going to try to steal it like A.J. Hoffman tries to do on the morning huddle. I mean, granted, Ryan Eagle stole it too, but, from Caleb the Camel. But that's Joe's shtick. I'm not going to steal that. Although Paul Salazar and his son PJ, they were somewhere. They ran into Jeremy Sohan and got this on video.
Welcome back to my channel. We here, Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan, can I get a hump day, baby? Let's go! Go Spurs, go, baby!
That's pretty cool. They're out, and if you're out and you see, I don't know, a celebrity, and you want to get them to do a hump day, we'll play it for you here on the radio. I'm glad that Jeremy was willing to play along. They're having fun. I have no idea any other context of what they were going on or why they were there or where they were. I know nothing. I don't even know when that was taken. I assume on a Wednesday.
Hump day?
Maybe even today. Maybe not. But either way, the tweet came in today. But, man, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It is the Blitz. Glad to have you along here on this Hump Day Wednesday. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up button. You can like. What are you laughing at, Pledge?
Just YouTube comments.
Which one?
Frank Mateo.
Which one? I don't know. You'll have to tell me later.
The fact that AJ stole both Hump Day and Rob Thompson from the Blitz.
Well, see, AJ didn't steal Rob Thompson from the Blitz. About 4 years ago, if you remember, Frank. But, again, I understand who your favorite team is, and concussion stuff is real, CTE. Years ago, there was this idea that we were going to add a morning show, so split up me and Rob. Rob went to the mornings because I don't wake up early, and I stayed here. We hired Ryan Eagle and somebody else, and then that person left, and AJ replaced that person. So no, AJ didn't steal Rob from me. Although Rob and I are still tight. We just spent a weekend together in Colorado. Still friends.
It's amazing how that works.
I ain't waking up that early. Ain't happening. Did a morning show for 8 years. Used to have a sign in my office that said I'd enjoy the day more if it started later. And I still believe that. Mornings, unless I'm catching a flight, not a fan. Not a fan. Let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
There is a podcaster in Kansas City. And look, people with podcasts, there are people that don't like them. I mean, if you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. That's how it goes. But anybody can have a podcast. But I know some that are just in the podcast, they get frowned upon. I look at it, a guy like RJ Ochoa, what he has dealt with building his career up. There are others very successful. I don't have an issue with people that are podcasters, unless you do something like some dude in Kansas City who is calling out Patrick Mahomes for being out of shape. He calls him an embarrassment. Tell him he needs to stop with the fast food because Patrick Mahomes has a bit of a dad bod. Now, why Mahomes' trainer immediately went after this guy saying, "What's your location? Let's meet." Dude, you're just giving this dude the attention that he is seeking. When you think about the championships that Mahomes has, how do you question whether or not he's dedicated, which is what this guy was doing? spend time in the gym in the offseason. I look at the rings that Mahomes has. Look at the list. He's going to be number one everywhere. And you know the guy works out like a madman. I find that comical. We're not talking about Jamarcus Russell. We're not talking about, some of these guys that eat their way out of the league. But you want attention. It's a way to get it, although not the attention you're probably looking for, because you hear that and you go, well, how the hell do I take anything you say seriously? Kind of like the dude in Cleveland who said he had on good authority that Dak Prescott was going to get traded to the Browns, and he doubled down on it. I mean, people can get a podcast and say what they want, but seriously, for the most part, and there's some really good podcasts out there, and there's some that aren't. It just, that one to me was just comical. You see what, and I should know this, but I never even thought to ask, because I know it's a lot of money that gets invested. But we just had a Final Four here in San Antonio. And at some point, I'm sure we'll get an economic impact report about the amount of money hosting the Final Four generated for the city of San Antonio. The Final Four is headed to Las Vegas. And yesterday, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority approved to spend $26 million on the event, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Games are going to be at Allegiant Stadium. $26 million. I think about the Super Bowl helped an economic impact of $1 billion or more for Las Vegas. I can only imagine what the Final Four is going to be. And Las Vegas is turning into one of those cities where, dude, they can host it. And everybody's going to want to go because they've got the hotel space. They've got the transportation down. Traffic is going to suck at any of these, whether you're talking about New Orleans. San Antonio is very walkable. There are places that you go that it just always makes sense. Now that pro sports and college sports, everybody has kind of stopped frowning on gambling. Las Vegas has become a destination for these kind of events. They got the stadium. The games are going to be at Allegiant Stadium. They can host it. They can handle it. They know how to do big events. There are cities where you just kind of, it should rotate. Vegas, New Orleans, San Antonio for the Final Four. Yes, I'm biased. But there are other cities that you go to for big events, and we go to the Super Bowl every year, and there are some cities that do it far better than others. Every year we go to the Army-Navy game, and now that they've started rotating that, Philadelphia probably does it the best. Boston, fun, but kind of, the stadium's just so far away. This year, I believe, is Baltimore. We've been to Baltimore before. Fun, because it's walkable, and everything is kind of central. There are cities that host big events well, and Las Vegas is going to be on the list. They're going to get everything. So I was actually surprised, even though the story is, I can't believe they're spending this much money for the Final Four. Only $26 million? I would figure it'd be more than that. Made me curious. What did San Antonio originally commit to be able to get the Final Four? But, they made money because those events always do. That's why cities like them. You go to Phoenix for the Final Four, and again, all the events are in Phoenix, but the games are in Glendale. That's 45 minutes to an hour away in traffic. Same when the Super Bowl's in Phoenix. Half the events are at the convention center, which is in downtown, but the games, because the stadium is so far away, one of those things. Libby Dunn. Libby Dunn probably has not faced rejection much in her life. But she did recently, and she made a video telling the story.
Guys, I'm so upset. So a few months ago, I decided I was going to make my first real estate purchase, which is so exciting, and I was going to get an apartment in New York City. But the gag was, it was Babe Ruth's apartment. So naturally, I'm telling everybody, I'm excited. I was going to buy it, and I was going to pay with cash. I wanted this apartment bad. It got to the point where the realtor was so confident, Paul and I went. I got an interior designer because I didn't want to bring my college furniture to Babe Ruth's apartment. That would be like criminal. Then the week that I'm supposed to get my keys to my brand new apartment, I get a call. The co-op board denied me. So pretty much the people in the building voted to not have me live there, which is fine. Like, honestly, it wasn't financial. It could have been, for all I know, they could have been Alabama fans and I went to LSU. Like, I have no clue. Maybe they didn't want a public figure living there, but I was literally supposed to get the keys, and that week they denied me. So it was just iconic. Like, it was so cool that it was Babe Ruth's apartment. But yeah, but long story short, don't try to live in a co-op. You might get denied and you won't get Babe Ruth's apartment.
Aw. So what do you figure? Do you think they're Alabama fans, or do you think there are a bunch of ladies on that board that said, you can't walk around here, I like my husband. I'm voting no to keep my husband out of trouble. Well, I mean, really, it ain't Alabama fans. It's jealous old hens that didn't want Libby Dunn rolling around their apartment. Public figure, maybe, paparazzi, but the fact that you could actually go get Babe Ruth's apartment. I mean, you would think in this day and age of collectibles, right, that you look at all the different cards that are out there, various memorabilia, and the collectible business goes in roller coaster. Right now, it seems like it's really hot right now. Certain memorabilia, certain cards, incredible, right? What is a Babe Ruth apartment worth, right? I mean, I know it says $1.3 million, but his card is probably worth more than that. And is it a nice apartment? Has it been updated? I mean, I hope it's been updated. But that's the thing with New York real estate is you have that forever. You buy those apartments. I remember when I was in New York in 91, we were subleasing my cousin's apartment on East 86 and 3rd because he was dating another chick and he moved in with her. But he wasn't going to give up his apartment. And so I don't know if he still has it. It wouldn't surprise me if he's subleasing it because it's a hell of an investment. But people keep them forever. You get your apartment in New York, you never move. I mean, it's like Pledge. You know, Pledge has been in the same apartment for I don't know how many years, and he's talking about moving. And I'm like, dude, what? This is a shock. I mean, you're going to get drunk at the Roo Pub and go back to your apartment and realize you can't get in. Although your key might still work, but the people that are living there may or may not be thrilled with you showing up.
They'll be stoked.
Did you say stoked or stroked? Both?
Yeah, we'll see where the night goes.
I mean, it happens. I know when I first moved, I only started going to the old house twice. Didn't quite make it there when I realized I'm going the wrong way.
There's autopilot involved at times.
Well, and you know how Uber will tell you, Uber was still going with the old home address. I did that once. But I realized when we started going that way, I'm like, oh, no, I need to change the address. And Justin Guerrero, he says he's moving too. You moving in with Justin? Oh, okay. Didn't know. I don't know. I mean,
nope.
People move all the time. One of those things. Babe Ruth's apartment was for sale, and Libby Dunn thought she was going to get it and got told no. See, she put that in Paul Skeen's name.
He didn't play for the Red Sox, so I don't see why not.
Well, it's an apartment in New York. It would have been fine.
I mean, Libby Dunn got denied. Maybe Paul Skeens would have been.
I just think that the ladies on the board did not want their husbands getting in trouble. Which those ladies probably doing them a favor. Libby Dunn moves into your place next door. As a dude, you're going to be in trouble. Now, a little different here because I'm thinking about, if she's got a pool and you're always looking over the fence. I mean, just trouble. Just trouble. The Spurs make a move last night. Get themselves another big. Let's talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
Rob's toes are like, I've got gorilla foot, I think is the best. They're almost permanently put into a hook 'em.
That's what it kind of is. I have my right foot. It's turning into a hook 'em. I think it's more of a rock and roll. One more Aggie curse, and thou shalt have right-footed Longhorn.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let me tell you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. Love Stevens Roofing, family-owned company, local company, and they're absolutely the best in the business. And you know as well as I do, we've had a lot of storms lately, haven't we, here in San Antonio? Also in the Hill Country, Fredericksburg, Castroville. They have been all over the place. And if you think your roof has been damaged by some of these storms, the best thing you can do is call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. They'll send a crew out to inspect your roof, no obligation, and absolutely free. And they'll let you know if anything's wrong with it, any repairs that are needed, or they'll tell you that nothing's wrong and you're good to go. Either way, Stevens Roofing is the number you need to call. Remember it always for all your roofing needs. 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing and Solar, the absolute best in the business. 210-785-0994.
Joel, I'm proud to introduce my latest in-summer relaxation relief occasion. I call it the Quarter Moon Grill and Go. It's a stainless steel propane gas grill with this, a full-size urinal. If you're gonna grill and you gotta go, it's the Grill and Go.
Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we fix plumbing and AC issues fast and at a fair price. 210-651-5899.
Grill and
go away, Nigel. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Spurs making it a priority to get some depth in that front court to help Wemby. It is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel has the day off, has the whole week off. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you on this Wednesday afternoon. On the radio, on YouTube, subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can watch there. You can comment. In fact, we'll even give away some prizes on YouTube a little bit later on in the show. Last night, get home, and then my phone starts blowing up that the Spurs have made a trade for Kelly Olynk. Good trade. Social media, and again, Twitter can be such a weird spot when it comes to things like this. And I don't understand, the Spurs tweet out, "Thank you for 3 incredible seasons, Blake. Wishing you all the best in Washington." San Antonio Spurs tweet, "Forever part of the family. Thank you for everything, Malachi." Apparently for Malachi, they weren't incredible. I don't know, but even nice guys, both great dudes. But what have they done? The Spurs had to make room, and maybe in Washington they'll have an opportunity to actually develop and play and have the careers that they were expected to have as first-round picks. They get a 6'11" journeyman. And look, Kelly's been well-traveled. If I'm Kelly, I'm not buying in San Antonio. I don't even know if I'm signing a long-term lease. He might be at the extended stay because you look at where he's been over the last couple of years, but he is a guy that can come in and certainly fill a role that the Spurs need filled. Solid player. Backup for I don't see him being a starter, but between him and Cornette, who's also a backup, the depth is there. While I was looking at this offseason, like a lot of you based on the interactions, whether on the show or on social media, we need that shooter. We need that three-point shooter, that sniper. Spurs said, we need to help our defense. We need help in the front court. Completely upgraded. Loved Mamu, but yeah, this is an upgrade. 13-year veteran, averages 10 points, 5 rebounds a game, couple assists. He can also shoot the 3. And I look at Luke from Boston. Now, in Boston, they didn't let him shoot the 3. But you go look at what he did in college. He was a 3-point shooter. This is a version of a Matt Bonner, a Tiago Splitter. These two guys, not all in one, but between Kelly and Luke. Sounds like a soap opera. Lukey and Kelly. Or is that a morning TV show? Either way. Tiago, Rasho, those guys that would come in, play a role, be great role players, understand their role on the team, and fit in. I like both of these moves. I'm a little surprised to see the sadness for Blake Wesley and Malachi Brannon. And if you are, it's because you like them. Maybe you met them at the store. Maybe you met them at H-E-B. You were at an autograph signing. Or because once a Spur, always a Spur, and we love our guys. And, we got to get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy until you actually do it. And you go, wow, man, that sucks. I liked him. It's a good move for the Spurs. It's a really good move for the San Antonio Spurs. And I do think the kind of player that Joe Reinagel has been talking about wanting to get. Now, I haven't talked to Joe. He's on vacation. Joe, actually, maybe not. Joe keeps saying he wanted younger veteran players. This guy might be too old. But I like the move. And I like what the Spurs are doing, even though it is different from what I was thinking they needed to do. They're focusing on defense first. And they're not done. What do they have? 3 more spots they can fill? I still want that sharpshooting 3. Maybe they think Devin can turn into that, even though we've had a lot of years of watching him not. But if he accepts his role, maybe. Or maybe the Spurs are saying, look, in the Western Conference, we're not there yet to compete for a championship. And so we're not going to go spend that money. Pledge says maybe it's Riley Minix. It's a possibility, although a bit of a long shot. Need to see a little bit more out of old Riley Minix, although I love hearing the broadcasters and talking about Minix out there, although he does need to add another N to his last name. Did get a little bit of action last night. Spurs lose to the Lakers last night in Summer League action, but Riley Minix did get a little bit of playing time. Mike Noyes, the Spurs Summer Leaguers head coach, talked about Riley's first action.
I thought he looked great. I think if he were here, he would agree. Defensively, he had a few times where maybe he was a little tired and a step slow. But overall, he is talented. His decision-making is up there with anyone. So he'll continue to trend upward as Summer League goes on.
And you wonder, when you hear decision-making, smart basketball, high basketball IQ, maybe there is a spot for Riley Minix on the Spurs regular season roster. You look at the box score from last night, and, I mean, Spurs end up losing the game late, 89-88. Riley Minix played 13 minutes. He was 3 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, had 8 points. Not a lot of run, and they wanted to limit the amount of minutes that he could get. Now, Carter Bryant's the one everybody was focused on. Offensively, he was awful last night, just 2 of 8. No surprise there that the coach said, it wasn't good.
Carter had probably a rough one, if I were to say.
Nice.
I think he'd say the same thing. He's way too hard on himself. He had a rough one, and you look at the box score, he'd probably say he plays so hard, he cares so much, and this is not about him playing great or terrible. This is about him getting better, getting used to things. I thought playing in a close game the last 5 minutes was the best thing for him. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to have success. That's how you learn. That's the whole point of Summer League.
And that's true. And again, we don't know what he was asked to work on in the game. Because Carter Bryant said afterwards, the Summer League experience has been exactly that.
I think the biggest thing is that it was a learning experience. These were like practices for us. It was live practices against live bodies. It was chances for us to get better, to kind of refine what we had been working on. Obviously, you want to win every game, but like these games don't count towards anything. So obviously, being a competitor, like it sucks to lose a tough one, especially when we're up like that with 2 minutes left. But I mean, you live and you learn. It's going to be a long season. So I think for me, just personally, you lose a game in college, everybody's going crazy. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? You lose a game in the league, you might have a back-to-back. You might have to play the next night. So kind of that's the mentality moving forward for us. I think just obviously competing against other guys, playing against some of the best young talent in the league, and yeah, just keep growing and learning every game.
That's what they got to do. And again, the Chupacabra last night had another great game, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. David Jones Garcia. And I actually got to watch him play a little bit last night. And I wonder if there is a spot for him. What is the future with this organization for David Jones Garcia? Because, look, we can all Google and read his Wikipedia page. We can read his bio. He was actually named to the All-California Classic team. What do you get for that? A certificate that you can hang on the fridge? A free Big Mac or a snow cone? I don't know. I didn't know there was an All-California Classic team, but I'm sure he got a little plaque. I don't know if he gets any bonus money because now they're heading to Vegas, and he might need that bonus money if he likes blackjack or slot machines or goes to a fancier restaurant than what the per diem would allow. But now they do get to Las Vegas, the real Summer League, and the question will be, will we see Dylan Harper? Mike Noyes, not committed to saying, yes, we will see Dylan Harper.
I don't know if the plan is the right word, but the hope for sure. He looks great. I know Dylan wants to play, as any competitor would. I said it last time, we're going to make the decision that's best for the long term. But as a coach, everyone in the organization, we want to see him out there for sure. He will help us.
I want to see him too. I mean, we want to see all these guys. And again, it's Summer League, and at least there'll be fans in the building. If you were watching last night, you saw there were no fans in the building. Apparently, in the California Summer League, on the weekday games, the ones that are hosted by Golden State, they don't let people in because it costs more money to open up the building than the revenue that they would make. Even though last night,
Bronny has earned it.
Bronny was playing. Now, Bronny, who sucked last night, 2 whole points on 1 of 5 shooting. Bronny, well, they said we can't make any money in Vegas when Dallas plays the Lakers. Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James, one of the most expensive ticket in Summer League history, about $2,500 a pop.
Bronny has earned it.
Okay. Spend your money how you want. That surprises me. Surprises me that Golden State says, yeah, but Bronny's playing. Who cares? I mean, we open up the building. We got to have the guy selling beer and popcorn. We're not going to make any money. Nobody wants to watch this. Let's make it a made-for-TV event only. Which, if you were watching, you saw our friend Jeff McDonald have a great seat right behind the Spurs bench. At one point, I thought he was on the bench. One point, I thought Jeff was going to actually call some plays. I hope he gets a good story out of that. I'm sure he will. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Guys, if you're dealing with low energy, you can fight back with TRT at Synergenics and Low T Center. And it's never been easier to get started on your TRT journey with the new Synergenics Health app. You can take the test, get the results, control your treatment from your phone. Download the app now and book your appointment at Synergenics and Low T Center while the test is still free. If you're struggling to choose where to go for TRT, Synergenics and Low T Center. They are the best. They've been doing it the longest. And the new Synergenics Health app, a superior innovation in healthcare technology that you will not find anywhere else. With the app, you can book your appointment, view lab results, have face-to-face telehealth visits, get medication reminders, order your supplements, pre-check into your visits, and so much more. All you need to do, book your first appointment or walk in to enter Synergenics or Low T Center before 10 a.m. Take the test. The blood test is simple, and they have an on-site lab, so you're going to get your results in about 20 minutes. And if you qualify, if you need it, you can start treatment that very same day. Never has there been a better time to start TRT with Synergenics and Low T Center because the test is still free. Other places charge hundreds of dollars just to get started. But right now, for a limited time, the test is free. And treatment is covered by most major insurances. So download the Synergenics Health app and book your appointment. Go to fixmylowt.com to get started. Fixmylowt.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs are back in business. Games played in Vegas. We'll talk about it.
And football's inching ever closer. We'll talk Micah's contract and if that's ever going to get done, and some college football. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
George Gets Justice.
You've just been in an accident, and now you're asking yourself, what do I do now? You're dealing with pain, medical bills, and missing work. Dealing with the insurance company feels overwhelming. George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we're here for you. We'll listen and explain your options and fight to get you the justice you deserve. No upfront fees, no stress, just real help when you need it most. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today or visit us at getgeorge.com.
George Gets Justice. Getgeorge.com.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Are you ready for the all-new Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow and Fire? Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels Monster Trucks fly, crash, and smash. Thanks to Good to Grow, kids' ticket prices half off. Coming July 26th and 27th to Frostbank Center in San Antonio. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
The College of Healthcare Professionals and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, we all know football season is right around the corner, and when my Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine comes in the mail, the Bible, you know, it really is getting close. We leave in a couple of weeks for Cowboys training camp out in Oxnard, California. And also in a couple weeks, the day we get on a plane to go to California, there's going to be a big event happening out at UTSA. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel is somewhere drunk on a beach in Mexico. I'm Jason Minix. Let's talk about what's happening out at UTSA on July 26th with our good friend April Ansira joining us here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. And April, I don't know anybody that does more fundraising for that football program than you and your group. And this event you created last year was a success. Helmets and Heels. Year 2 looks like it's going to be even better.
Yes, we're so excited, and thank you for having me on, by the way, Jason. Yes, this year we've done some fine-tuning to what we did last year. We learned so much. We had the ladies out there last year from 9 to 12. Well, it was so much fun. We're making it 8:30 a.m. to 12:30. We had to add an extra hour to fit in all the fun on July 26th out at the UTSA Race Center where we'll be at. And we're starting it off with the normal thing. We're going to have mimosas and tacos, everybody's favorite. And then we've added a couple of new things. So I'm pretty excited that your wife is going to be out there also to try it out with us.
Well, and I know she was there last year. And here's the thing, because like right now you're talking to a lot of guys. And guys, you want to tell your wife to go to this because while it is fun and there is mimosas and there is shopping, there's actually some football learning. It was good for Joanna. She signed up to go back this year because it was fun and educational. kind of for the event. And again, you're talking to guys to get their wives to go sign up.
You're right. I need to talk to my audience here.
Yeah.
So the benefit to the guys is well, here, let me tell you a real quick fact first. That UTSA has the highest percentage of women attending college football games in the nation. It is 48% women and 52% men. And typically that number for women is more like 32 to 35%. So you've already got that you're trying to bring in and pay attention to. But it is so fun when you watch a game as a couple and you're able to talk about stuff and you don't sound like a complete goofball like I did one time. There's a lot of women who know a lot of stuff. But for my husband, when they do the offsides thing, I'm so tuned into basketball, I always call it traveling. And I don't know if that makes it more fun to him or not. So sending them to this is awesome because you do some of the drills. They go over how they make offensive calls, how they make defensive calls. There'll be a dunk tank this time so that a quarterback can show them how to throw a ball, and hopefully Coach Traylor will drop right into that dunk tank. That's one of the things that we did add as well.
So
yeah,
wait. So it's going to be Jeff Traylor that's going to get dunked. So these ladies will have a chance to dunk Jeff Traylor.
That's right. This is true. And you know what happened this morning? I was on one of the morning shows talking about helmets and heels. I didn't know he didn't know as I was announcing at that time. So I was talking to our good friend Roma over on Great Day SA, and I looked at him and I was like, and we have Jeff Traylor in a dunk tank. So he was a little surprised, but I'm sure a willing participant and volunteer. So, yeah. Whatever will bring the ladies out.
Well, that's it. I love the fact that he didn't know. I was a little surprised he signed up for that. So I'm guessing Mrs. Traylor signed him up for this.
Mrs. Traylor, Carrie Traylor, signed him up for that. And she's our fearless leader through all of this. Unfortunately, I can't convince her to do media with me. But so she's the one who signed him up. And so here he is. That's going to be part of it. He's also going to give a little speech at the beginning. Roma from Great Day SA, again, we've added her as our moderator and MC because last year we didn't have a moderator for a coaches panel we expect to have. So that'll be a lot of fun, and we'll have some fun questions to ask the coaches and the wives.
And again, this is coming up Saturday, July 26th, the second annual Helmets and Heels. And I know when you kind of you and those over at UTSA, you came up with this idea last year, fun but educational, but a way to raise money because obviously this is all supporting the program with everything going on with NIL, your involvement there, and the need is just continuing to grow.
Yeah, the need is continuing to grow. I mean, we have our first game off the bat is against A&M. And I promise you, had NIL never come into the fold, I think we would have saved a whole bunch of talent that we had growing with Jeff. That made sense, and we probably would have had a shot. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's going to be a fun game to watch, but our number one goal is not to be injured on game one of the thing. So that's why this fundraising is so important. And the landscape is changing, though. The landscape's changing right now in NIL. Now that UTSA will actually be paying these football players. But we need more. We need more to compete and to even compete in our own conference. So here we are.
April Lancira joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Your involvement makes you a great person to ask some of these questions to because you don't actually work for the university. And every time,
which is scary for them.
Is it? But again, you're honest and you ask the right questions. And I know it feels like every time there is a new rule because things seem to change daily, weekly, monthly. I'll ask you, hey, what does this mean, or how does this affect UTSA? Now that we're in July and the lawsuit was approved and there is revenue sharing, and obviously UTSA isn't in position to share at the top of the level, so the collectives are still a part of it. How have things shifted in the last couple of weeks?
Well, actually, there's a collective that's no longer with us anymore. Rest in peace, Runners Rising. They were doing the rest of the sports except for football, and the one that I'm with Martin Salinas and Pat Kleins is 210 Inspired. We are sticking around, but the reason for Runners Rising no longer closing their books is because they're trying to put something together in Florida with a company called Deloitte. And I'm not sure if you've talked about this or not, but it's a clearinghouse where they're going to throw anything above $600 per athlete through this clearinghouse. And this is actually a way for them to try to get rid of NILs. So it'll have to be a legit business that they're like, you're holding a bottle of Gatorade, and whatever Gatorade pays this athlete has to be market price for the value of that athlete. Now, I don't know how you figure that out or what sort of algorithm is out there. But as you can see, as a NIL collective, simply having them do nonprofit type stuff, the clearinghouse won't approve any, in theory, may not approve anything above $600 for that athlete. And hopefully for them, which I think their intent is to get rid of these collectives, which is making the landscape unfair. What's going to happen is somebody's going to sue them, and how can you say what my value is or what I'm worth? If that's what they want to pay, then that's what I'm worth. And so then it may be for naught. So I mean, we still don't know after all this time. We still don't know. But should that happen, should it be successful, the money we still raise at 210 Inspired still can go to UTSA football. We have our bylaws written appropriately that we can donate to UTSA football to them directly, and they can use it for meals or other things. So the money is still going somewhere that's extremely beneficial for the program.
With the lawsuit settlement, and I know that changes some things, but obviously, you know, for a program like UTSA, in the American, Jeff Traylor can recruit, develop a player, and then if a bigger power school wants to come offer them a lot more money, there in a lot of cases, there's not much you can do. If there's X amount of dollars, you can't match that. How has this helped with that, or is that still going to be an issue for UTSA moving forward?
I believe it'll still be an issue. I mean, because some of these things were happening before, but I guess not at this scale. And I think a lot of schools have figured out or finesse the system, if you will. And I think the contracts will be written where I think that a student may think twice before leaving, but there'll still be offers made that it will be mind-blowing and will be enough for a student to leave. So I think that there's a possibility to really lose some super top tier people, that's still out there. How it's going to look, I'm really not sure. The other discussion that's out there is making the transfer portal only be once a year. Everybody says that by next year it'll only be once a year. When? I don't know. Probably March is the best guess. But that alone would probably help with some of it. Is not having to battle and negotiate twice a year, be just one time a year.
Exactly.
Which is kind of a headache. Yeah. So so many moving pieces. We just have to keep being flexible and adjust as they fall. And really, we're not at a spot where we're trying to raise enough to beat A&M. That's just not where we are at this time. We're trying to raise enough to be able to be competitive in our own conference. And by beating Memphis last year, we've shown that we can do it. But I don't think people even know how much we raised to be able to do that. We raised a lot. So when people are like, see, we don't have to do what they did. Oh, they have no idea. We had boots on the ground fundraising our behinds off to get it to happen. So
and you still have to be able to do that. And that's what events like this will, if people want to donate to 2-0 Inspired. I know the push to set the attendance record at the Texas State game, all those different efforts to try to raise money. And again, it's not just the collectives, the university now having to come up with some for the revenue share as we visit with April and Sarah here on the Blitz. Just out of curiosity, I mean, because you're doing all this while still your full-time job with selling cars, right? Sounded like you were closing a deal with Pledger before you came on here, which is necessary. Now
that's funny.
Is much for people that don't know your role as president or past president of the Texas Auto Dealers Association, dealing with state government officials on the national level. Are you surprised that college athletics has yet to figure it out when you think about all the different things you've done on the business side, why is it taking the NCAA and college athletics so long to get on the same page?
No, I'm not surprised. You would think so. But since I have been dealing with folks that are, in office in places, I think you'll see when you when you look at the newspaper, newspaper online, let's say, or listen to the radio, that it takes them a while to figure things out too, especially on some topics. So it's a rare. It feels like it just takes so much agreement by so many people, and when you have so many chefs in the kitchen, I think that's what makes it difficult, is because you have 10,000 ideas coming from a lot of people. So, I mean, to a lot of people, you and I, it's like no-brainers, right? Anytime they do something. But we're playing, what do they call it, armchair football?
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting from the side. It's easier for us to view, like, of course, why did you make it two portals? We should have one. Of course, why did you make it so open access for us to do these collectives? But I think we're working with a lot of hindsight and reactionary type stuff, and I think they keep making moves. And it's really hard to see all the fallout, but it's something they have to do. All right, if we implement this, let's go down every rabbit hole of fallout that there could be. And I think that's the only thing that would be preventable to anything that's occurring like it is now. So I'm actually not surprised.
And really, I mean, because while they say they're looking out for the sport in general, they're really looking out for their best interest first. I mean, they can't even figure out what is the best college football playoff expansion. The Big 12 and the ACC want one model, and the SEC and the Big 10 want a different model.
Yeah, exactly. When you have this many people engaged in the discussion, it's really hard to get a good consensus on how to move forward. And I think that's part of the difficulty of going forward with something. So. Yep.
As far as our backyard, it's doing what we can to help UTSA football. You've done a lot with that with 2-0 Inspired. That is the football-only collective, and you guys are still raising a lot of money. There's ways to donate. So tell us the best way to keep raising that money, and then the best way to get our ladies signed up for Helmets and Heels.
Absolutely. Well, I'd say the first and best way right now is just we really want to pack that place at the race facility at UTSA, and it's goutsa.com/helmetsandheels, goutsa.com/helmetsandheels. And you can go there right now, and if you're a UTSA student or a professor or you work there in any sort of capacity, it's $60. And for alumni and just UTSA fans, it's $75 right now. And we have incredible stuff all day going on. Like I mentioned, the dunk tanks and the coaches panel and some drills and shopping. I know the men love that shopping part. Guys, don't be afraid to send them with the credit card. They probably all have their own.
They have their own.
I don't like to ask. So I just go on my own. But that's one of the ways to do it. The other one is 210inspired.org. We're accepting any and all donations to help, keep our UTSA football team healthy, strong, and moving forward to be able to be competitive.
And how is there going to be video camera set up watching the Dunka trailer?
You know what? We're still doing the small things, fastening up loose ends. I'll be sure to mention that to everybody, especially Carrie, because I know we need that on film.
Yes. Well, I'm almost wondering if there could be a way to do some sort of live stream for a fee. People could donate every time he gets donated. I mean, I think there's a lot of things we could do here that probably Jeff Traylor, if he's listening right now, is cursing me, yelling at the radio. But I think we could have a lot of fun with this.
Like some sort of subscription, type deal for streaming. For $2, you get 5 minutes. For $5, you get 10 minutes. That kind of thing, maybe.
I think. Well, on YouTube, you can donate to get your comment there. If somebody donates enough, trailer gets dunked. I think we could have a lot of fun with this.
I'm on it. I like it, Minix. I like it. We're gonna have to put you on the planning committee next year.
I don't need to do that.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I think we'd have a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, I know you said mimosas and tacos, but meetings, yeah. I got ideas. I got ideas. You can have a lot of fun with that.
I know.
Helmets and Heels coming up on July 26th. Starts at 8:30 in the morning with mimosas and tacos, and really a lot of fun. I know my wife had a great time at this event last year and signed up immediately this year when you announced when it was going to be. And that was before she realized that's actually the day we fly out to go to Oxnard for Cowboys training camp. She was like, you're on your own to get to the airport. I'm like, I'm cool. That's what Uber's for.
That's what Uber's for.
That's what Uber's for.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. April and Sierra. Appreciate it. 210inspired.org. Helmets and Heels. A fun event, according to my wife, in April and the people that I know that were there. Send your ladies. They will have a great time. More importantly, another way to help the UTSA football program as they try to raise money because it's needed. April and Sierra and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. The Cowboys fan survey from The Athletic is out, the results. It's comical. We'll dive into that. Coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. Your home for the NFL.
What a perfect time to pull out the golf clubs and go play some golf. And the perfect place to do that is the Golf Club of Texas. They have done so many improvements to that golf course. It's unbelievable. It looks so much different. Look, if you haven't been out there in a while, you haven't been out there. Brand new golf cart paths all over the place. They've resodded the entire golf course. Plus, they have these zero-scape areas that just add beauty to what is already a beautiful piece of property. The Golf Club of Texas, not a private club. Sure seems like one, though, but they are open to the public 7 days a week and some of the best service you can imagine. Then there's the Tin Cup Bar and Grill, the absolute best food and drinks everywhere. Any kind of cocktail you can imagine, any kind of draft beer, cold beer, whatever you want, the Tin Cup Bar and Grill is your place to be. Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. For dinner at the Tin Cup, around with your buddies, or your next tournament. Best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Dick Steele Days are happening now. You won't want to miss our biggest sale of the summer. Scorecard members earn a $20 bonus reward on your purchase of $150 or more. Plus 3 days of amazing savings start Tuesday. Check out offers from brands like Nike, Adidas, Hoka, and Stanley. And check back daily for new one-day deals Tuesday through Thursday. Score the season's hottest savings before they're gone on July 10th. Shop in the app and on Dix.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23 3330 West I-10, the Lion and Rose.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Spurs made a trade late yesterday afternoon with the Washington Wizards, sending Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, and a 2026 second-round pick in exchange for big man Kelly Olynk. The Spurs also finished up California Summer League play with the last-second loss to the Los Angeles Lakers, falling 89-88. In the NFL, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, in a ranking by NFL coaches, scouts, and executives, listed their top 10 edge rushers in the NFL. Myles Garrett came in first, T.J. Watt second, and Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys third, according to league officials. The Texans had two in the top 10, with Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter ranked 8th and 9th.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hump day. Yeah, by contract, I have to do that. Hump day. Even though Reinagel is on vacation. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Jason Minix, pledge producing as always, and while Reinagel loves doing the hump day, and that's his thing, so I don't, got a tweet earlier from a dude named Paul Salazar. His son, PJ, they had the video camera rolling, and they ran into Jeremy Sohan.
Welcome back to my channel. We here, Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan, can I get a hump day, baby? Let's go! Go Spurs, go, baby!
Yeah. We got a Jeremy Sohan doing the hump day. Since Reinagel's out, we'll let Jeremy take over and do that. And I guess Jeremy probably doesn't know that we do that, or if he did, knows how much we want him traded and gone, he might not. But, whatever. Kind of one of those things. Fun time talking with April Ann Sierra a few minutes ago. Some of the comments on our YouTube channel, and you can go there to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel and read them. Sam wants to know, are they available women? Are there any available women? I'm assuming he's asking about single ladies. It's possible that there will be single ladies there. It's not. It's students, faculty, alumni. I mean, there probably are some single ladies that are going to be there. Although, Sam, I don't know. Are you going to wait outside the gate to see because you're not invited? Now, Sam, if you have a lady, you can. Alexandra says on YouTube she wants to learn how to kick a field goal. I think they do that. I don't know what all they do, but I do think that you probably could go out there and kick a field goal, because while it is called helmets and heels, you can wear heels, but wear tennis shoes because you're doing some football things. The dunk tank with Jeff Traylor, I think, is going to be incredible. Could raise a lot of money with that. Dunk a trailer. They could. And then I saw somebody, I guess the Texas football held a YouTube a food bank fundraiser to help the flood victims, which is awesome. And I do think that maybe it might be too late for UTSA to set this up since this event's in a couple weeks, although they're college kids with computers. They should be able to figure this out, because I think online, if you were to do the Jeff Traylor dunk tank online with the donation, I think they could raise some money that way and get guys involved, right? Because like Sam, he wants to see what the ladies are like and who's single, but that could be a way to get the guys involved, even though a ladies event, and I think it's a great deal, but maybe they're onto something there, although according to April, it didn't seem like Jeff Traylor was overly thrilled to find out that he had been voluntold that he is going to be a part of a dunk tank. Hot summer day, cold water, bunch of ladies.
You're an idea guy.
I'm an idea guy. Hope they make some money. Speaking of UT raising money, we have on our website, sasportstar.com, a link where you can find out information on how to help, whether it's donating money, signing up for volunteers, items that are needed for donation. That is available. And sasportstar.com, everything is there vetted, because right now you go online and you see all kinds of things that donate here and all that, and you don't really know. This list is compiled from what the officials have provided us. This is where they said, if you're going to promote a donation page, promote this one. We have compiled all that information. And then I see on social media, the Minnesota Vikings have announced that they have donated $500,000, which is incredible. And for the Vikings, and other than the fact that Red McCombs used to own it, the goodness of their heart. I saw the Angels had a message on their scoreboard. It's just nice to see outside of the area those offering support, whether it's financial or just, thinking of you guys, but the recognition. I mean, because I know what it's like here when you see something happening in some other part of the country. We're getting that, which, that support. I think people realize just how bad it is. The amount of people that I know from across the country and really maybe the world that have reached out and, making sure everything is okay. So appreciate that. But sasportstar.com if you want to help. Speaking of baseball, Tuesday is the All-Star game. Tuesday, the Blitz is going to be live out at the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Because big game, big event, you go to the Rue Pub. Major League Baseball announced that they are going to use the ABS Challenge system during the All-Star game, which is happening in Atlanta. That's the automated ball strike system. They've been doing this in some of the minor leagues, AAA. They're going to do it in the All-Star game just to see. I like this if they can do it quickly, right? Major League Baseball says 72% of fans polled during spring training said the impact of the ABS on their experience was positive. 69% say they'd like it to be a part of the game moving forward. Only 10% expressed negativity toward it. Only 10%, that's pretty good because there are a lot of people, especially baseball people, that don't want change. Baseball people, they are least likely to want any kind of change, right? Yet, nothing worse than watching an umpire blow a call. And if this helps get it right, why not? Kind of like the replay system that we see in every other sport. Television is so good now that if we all know the dude got it wrong, is there a way to fix it? And I'm curious. I look at if they got it right. Now, it's kind of a challenge system. The hitter can challenge. The pitcher can challenge. The catcher can challenge. And I think they get two. And if you get it right, you get another one. I have no problem with that. Most rule changes, you're going to have all kinds of mixed reviews. And it's not like they're using this on every pitch. It's not like the umpire is going away, that it's just a computer that's going to tell you if it's a ball or a strike. I don't mind it, do you? And again, if it's right. Now, if my team gets screwed by it. But that's every rule change. And honestly, if you see it, and it's on video, and it's the ump got the call wrong and the video can correct it, I'm always good with it, even when I don't like the call. The one, and Dean Blandino came back and fixed it, is when Des caught it. Because there was nothing about that video that looked incomplete to me, ever. And 3 years later, he said, yeah, I got that one wrong, right? It took him a while, or the rules changed to make it right. But for the most part, I like the fact that Major League Baseball is testing this in the minor leagues. They're going to bring it out in the All-Star game, and it's likely to become a part of Major League Baseball. There's already reviews for other things. Did the ball make it out? Did it not make it out? You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. The technology is there. Why are we not using it? That, to me, that's always the question. If the technology is there, if I'm at home, if I see a replay and I'm in the stadium and I know the guy got it wrong, and when you only have two, you're not going to burn that thing in the first inning. You're not going to burn that when you got 2 outs and nobody on. You're gonna use those when it matters. And as a baseball fan, isn't that what you want? That's what you want. Because still, in baseball, as many games as there are, when you think you've seen it all, you haven't. Now, I'm going to guess not a lot of you listening right now saw what happened at the end of that baseball game last night in California. And inside the park, walk-off 3-run homer.
Daly, it's a high drive. Way out into right field. It is off the bricks. This game is tied. Daly's on the move. Daly's on the move. And the game is over.
Crazy. Crazy when you think about seeing an inside the park home run, let alone a walk-off variety, and obviously something like that doesn't happen.
I did not see that coming
very often. And of course, it
Neither
happened
did
so
my
late last
boys.
night. Probably not a lot of you saw it. And with Wimbledon on, you probably didn't see it this morning on SportsCenter, because I don't. Are they even showing SportsCenter in the morning? I don't wake up early enough to see SportsCenter. I'm waking up to tennis.
There's no SportsCenter. There's no Get Up. There's no First Take. It's Wimbledon on both ESPN channels, ESPN 1 and 2. Now, I haven't gone to see if they're rebroadcasting something on ESPNU.
On ESPNU, it's been Big 12 Media Days, which I find interesting. Mike Gundy is on right now, and I was watching him about 4.5 hours ago on ESPNU, making the rounds, doing the car wash, as they say. Let's talk about it coming up. And the newest San Antonio Spur here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, because of course you do. You know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Las Palapas, Array, the College of Healthcare Professionals, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week. No point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Are you ready for the all-new Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow and Fire? Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels Monster Trucks fly, crash, and smash. Thanks to Good to Grow, kids' ticket prices half off. Coming July 26th and 27th to Frost Bank Center in San Antonio. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
The Lion and Rose at the Dominion, your daily happy hour spot from 3 till 7 p.m. 250 drafts, wine, wells, and bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Lion and Rose at 23330 West I-10.
School's out, summer's in, and that vacation countdown is officially on. But what about your four-legged MVP? Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit in Selma has your furry family member covered. Daycare, boarding, grooming, and training, they've got it all. They're built for your pet's health, happiness, and tail-wagging good times. If you're in the military, your teacher, or your first responder, they've got barking good exclusive discounts. So go ahead, book that trip, hit the beach, crush your summer plans. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit has your pet in good hands. Because home away from home isn't just for humans. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits in Selma.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
On YouTube, Justin Guerrero is asking, did Jason mention the Astros swept the Dodgers this week? I might have mentioned that a couple of times on Monday. And baseball is baseball. I mean, have been playing great. They beat the Dodgers. They beat all, and now they're about to get swept by the Cleveland Indians, or Guardians. And that, granted, they play tonight, so maybe they can salvage this one. It's been a while, though, since the Astros have lost a series. Yeah. Astros. It is the Blitz. Joe's on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a Wednesday afternoon. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. You can always comment there. In fact, let's reward those that are watching on YouTube. We have a pair of tickets to give away to go see Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live. I'm going to make pledge work a little bit here. If you want to go to Monster Truck Live, the Glow and Fire. Frost Bank Center, July 26th or the 27th. All you got to do is write Glow and Fire in the YouTube comments. And I don't know, at 4:30, Pledge is going to take everybody that does that, put your name on the wheel and spin for a winner. That easy. Glow and Fire. Comment that on YouTube. Go to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, and you'll have a chance to win. It is that easy, that simple, and it makes Pledge work a little bit. So head to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Glow and Fire. It's the name of the Hot Wheels deal. I didn't make that up. Clearly, I did not make that up. Just like I didn't make up the fact that the Spurs' two big offseason acquisitions have all happened close to 7 o'clock at night, which is kind of nuts, right? The signing of Luke, show is over, and Pledge was like, man, it happened like 1 minute after I signed off the air. Same thing last night. I get home, getting dinner ready, and then my phone starts blowing up. The Spurs made a trade for Kelly Olynk. And so with that, the Spurs wave bye-bye to Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley. They're off to the Washington Wizards, along with a second-round pick. But what the Spurs get is another big. Obviously, the commitment for San Antonio this offseason was to add depth to the front court to help out Wemby. They've got a lot of guards. They are working defense first. When I feel like I was hoping for a sniper and, whether it was Kevin Durant or somebody like that, they were like, yeah, we got to get defense first. And they've been able to do that. So Luke Cornett gets officially signed on, Tuesday night, Monday night, and then last night, what's today? Today's Wednesday. So last night, by the time I get home from work, then you get the info that Kelly Olynk has been acquired by the San Antonio Spurs. And here's a guy last year averaged almost 9 points and 5 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game. He can hit the three, though. And for the Spurs, what I really like about this deal, he's a guy that understands his role. And same with Luke Cornett. The Spurs are getting guys that fit. The idea of somewhat comparisons, you look at a Matt Bonner type, a Tiago Splitter type, a Rasho type of guy, a Jakob Poeltl, if you will, guys that understand what they are supposed to do with this basketball team, high basketball IQ guys, and a defense-first mentality. The idea that we don't really know Mitch Johnson and where his priorities are, it feels like defense. They know they needed to get help rebounding. They know they needed to add depth in the front court. They could get rid of a couple of guards, Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley. They haven't worked out here. Great dudes. Spurs Twitter, I can't believe we got rid of that guy. Really? Yeah, you can, because you got to get rid of guys to get guys in. And you look at the work that Brian Wright continues to do, it is impressive. They've got 3 more roster spots. Riley Minix might be one of those. The Chupacabra might be one of those. What's his name? David Jones Garcia? Summer League legend. He made the All-California Summer League. Dude scored 25 again last night, and I finally actually got to watch him play. He looks like he could be a player. I don't know what the future plans are for him, whether it's in Austin or is he working his way to more than just a 2-way contract with the San Antonio Spurs. It will be interesting to see if he's able to continue this clip when they get to Las Vegas and play games, especially if Dylan Harper is available. And Mike Noyes, the Spurs Summer Leaguer head coach last night, said the plan is for Dylan Harper to play some in Las Vegas.
I don't know if the plan is the right word, but the hope for sure.
All right.
He looks great. I know Dylan wants to play, as any competitor would. I said it last time, we're going to make the decision that's best for the long term. But as a coach, everyone in the organization, we want to see him out there for sure. He will help us.
And again, I mean, I think every Spur fan wants to see Dylan Harper. But I would also say, as much as you want to see it, think about what we're seeing out of Carter Bryant. And he's got a lot to learn. I appreciate Noyes last night, Mike Noyes, the coach, being very honest about Carter Bryant's performance in the loss last night to the Lakers.
Carter had probably a rough one, if I were to say. I think he'd say the same thing. He's way too hard on himself. He had a rough one, and you look at the box score, he'd probably say he plays so hard, he cares so much, and this is not about him playing great or terrible. This is about him getting better, getting used to things. I thought playing in a close game the last 5 minutes was the best thing for him. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to have success. That's how you learn. That's the whole point of Summer League.
And again, really it is the whole point of Summer League. Last night's game was weird to watch just because there were no fans in the building. And that was by design. It wasn't that nobody in California gave a damn that
Bronny has earned that.
The Lakers were playing or that the Spurs were playing. But according to Jeff McDonald, Jeff tweeted out he was told they don't sell tickets to the weekday games because it costs more money to open up the building than they would make in revenue. It's a business decision, made for TV event only. Certainly, I guess that makes sense. Although if you're hosting those games, I don't know. It was kind of weird to see in a big arena. There was a point way back, and the Summer League has grown. Remember they used to do those in like practice gyms with no fans? Why are you in a big arena if you're not going to let people in? Why not go back to the practice gym? Now, I know that makes it a little bit more difficult for the TV cameras, but it's just weird. The COVID flashback, I mean, did they not have the cardboard fans that they could put back out there or something? I mean, Jeff had a great seat behind the bench. At one point, I thought he was going to get on the bench and call some plays. I mean, he could have. It felt that relaxed. But the idea of Summer League is work on specific things. So, and I'm not making judgments either way on Bryant or anybody else, although when you see a player like the Chupacabra playing at that level, you wonder if there is something there. Now, maybe he's just a Summer League legend. If he continues to play at this level, he had 25 again last night in Las Vegas, maybe there is something there for the San Antonio Spurs, maybe even something that they didn't know was available to him. I mean, I didn't know who he was. Obviously, the Spurs did because he's on the roster. But is he playing better than what the Spurs were expecting? But he looks like he's got that basketball IQ that is necessary. He's got all the ability, and the dude can shoot. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to take somebody's roster spot, but at the same time, Blake Wesley and Malachi Branham just left. Could there be a spot for him? More than just a two-way. Clearly, he's heading to Austin, but he certainly seems like a player that certainly wasn't on my radar. I don't know how many people had him on their radar, but he's playing well. And again, I don't get caught up too much in the Summer League. I understand what it's for. The big-time rookies are going to go. Fed Vriel says, why do I call him the Chupacabra? Because I'd never seen him play in his first two games, Fred. I started calling him that because the first game I was in Denver, didn't see any of it. And I read the article. The game recap did not mention him at all, yet he was the leading scorer. Game two, when I got back from Denver, I saw the latter part of the fourth quarter. By the time I got home and put it on, he didn't play. And that article, even though he was the leading scorer, didn't mention him. That's why I'm calling him the Chupacabra, because I'd never seen him play before, but he was doing all these incredible things, but nobody is writing about this guy. How has he not become a feature story? I realize he's not a first-round draft pick. I realize nobody's there to see him, but seemed like a pretty good nickname. Now that I've seen him, I don't know if he can keep that nickname. Pledge says he can. But I'm like, who is that? Ever seen a game recap where the leading scorer doesn't get mentioned once? I mean, the guy led the team in scoring in all three games out in California, and good shooting percentages as well. And again, I didn't see him. John Sobery said, sounds like a great nickname. I liked it. I didn't know how else to describe him. I didn't know anything about him. I had to Google him. And I'm guessing a lot of you had to Google them too. And if you didn't, you're lying. Nobody knows who that is. I mean, some people on Monday's show is like, who is this guy? Oh, he's this and that. Dude, I read that on Wikipedia too. What you just sent me on direct message looks like it was written by AI. Oh, ChatGPT. Who is this guy? Crazy. Good stuff. All right, Pledge, are we getting close to finding a winner? You got the wheel all set up and ready to go? All these people wanting to give something away on YouTube. Here we go. Go ahead and spin the wheel. You got a lot of names on there. Oh, you've been busy. All right, he has spun the wheel. I can't read that far away. Oh, it's going to tell me. Are you kidding? Justin Guerrero. Congratulations, Justin. Call Pledge. He's going to hook you up with those tickets to go see the Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live, Glow and Fire. Is Justin eligible? He seems to win a lot. If he's not, we'll pick another winner. If he's not eligible to win. We'll see. Can you be on one team the most overrated and the most underrated player? That happened on the Cowboys fan vote survey deal from The Athletic. One player, one guess on who that player is, voted most overrated and underrated. Make that make sense. We'll try to do that coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you are having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number, 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission, sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. They also have great maintenance programs that ensures your unit is ready for every season. But if you're having an issue at the house with your AC or your plumbing, one company, they're great, 210-651-5899. That's the phone number for Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs are back in business. Games played in Vegas. We'll talk about it.
And football's inching ever closer. We'll talk Micah's contract and if that's ever going to get done, and some college football. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and respect. A firm backed by a track record of success and commitment to our clients. If you've been injured, trust Thomas J. Henry, San Antonio, Texas.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
In the 80s, everyone was breaking. Break dancing, that is. Lots of moves, spins, flashy colors, and a whole lot of cardboard. Breaking in the 80s was good, but breaking now, not so good. That's why Dave Ramsey recommends Kinetico water softeners in San Antonio and the Hill Country. Seems like many brands of water softeners these days have flashy lights, sounds, and moving parts. Bad news, all those parts are more likely to break and break and break again. With Kinetico water softeners, there are fewer moving parts, and a Kinetico only runs on kinetic energy and is up to 80% more efficient than other competing models. A Kinetico was built to work, not break. That's why Kinetico is backed by an outstanding 10-year warranty, and right now receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink, $400 off with a trade-in of any water softener, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. With a Kinetico, you'll have water soft as parachute pants on the dance floor.
KineticoSA.com.
License number 38961.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Football season right around the corner. In fact, the Circus Sports Ultimate Contest weekend coming up in August. We want you to join us in Las Vegas for the Ultimate Contest weekend. The Blitz, Ryan Egel, and myself are going to be live August 21st and 22nd. That's a Thursday and a Friday. And then, of course, we're sticking around for the weekend. This would be, our 5th, 6th trip out to Circa Las Vegas. Every time we go, people say, I want to go. Well, book your trip. Those that have been, and I know those that have been have already booked because they know how much fun we have out there. Details and discounted rooms are available at sasportstar.com. If you go straight to the Circa website and you want to get the discount, use promo code BLITZ. That's simple. And trust me, it's a lot of fun. And also, their sister hotel, the D, you can get rooms there, a little bit less expensive rooms, but the discount promo code BLITZ works there as well. Again, go to sasportstar.com. I don't want to steal A.J. Hoffman's thunder, but I heard the promo for the morning huddle tomorrow, and he said they were going to talk about Micah's contract. Adam Schefter today was talking about Micah's contract.
I think that the discussions between the two sides have been positive enough that most people believe that there'll be a deal that gets done there, and that when a deal gets done between Dallas and Micah Parsons, it'll make him the highest paid defensive player in National Football history, that he'll surpass the contract that the Cleveland Browns gave Myles Garrett.
Okay, I mean, so there's nothing new. I mean, that's all right. Somebody must ask Shefty, and went from there. Now, I think most Cowboy fans, and I say that before I read this, figured he'll get a deal done before training camp. Deadlines make deals. Jerry Jones loves deals on a deadline. The Athletic last week did their fan survey. Today, John Machota published the results of said fan survey. Question 5. Will Micah Parsons have a new contract by the start of training camp? 64.5% say no. Now, I've kind of gone back and forth. Now, granted, there was a point, because of some of the reporting, I thought we'd already have it. Some of the things Micah said in, I don't know, March, I thought it would already be done. But Jerry always likes to wait and then spend and pay more. Micah has said he will be there at training camp. That doesn't mean he's going to work at training camp. So they report on July 22nd. First padded practice is Sunday, July 27th. And the San Antonio Sports Star crew will be there that day. We leave Saturday the 26th. We'll be there for that practice. And then all that week, our AA Best Bail Bonds Cowboys training camp coverage will be live from Oxnard, California. At some point while we are there, Micah Parsons is going to have a new deal and practice. I fully expect to see Micah practice. I'd be shocked with Eberflus, with Jerry, the importance of it, a new head coach. And maybe it's just me being a little naive or hopeful that Jerry will do something a little bit different. But, dude, help out your new coach. You got a new head coach. You got a new defensive coordinator. Get this one done. It would be great if Mike was able to get that done and then buy all the drinks at the Rudder Room, which wouldn't cost him all that much. One of the greatest, worst dive bars on planet Earth, which is walking distance from our beach house. I plan properly. But again, you look at but I think this is reflective of fans just understanding how Jerry is. And quite honestly, there's a couple of questions in this fan survey that make you Cowboy fans, man, we're jilted. I mean, the love or lack thereof for the Cowboys front office. Although fair, what grade would you give the Cowboys front office for how it has handled the offseason, from coaching, hires, trade, free agency, and draft? 42% give them a B. 6% an A, 27% a C, only 8% give them an F. I'm going to guess those are Redskin fans or Washington fans. Although the Schottenheimer hire was a bit of a surprise, and I get that. But it is interesting, and Pledge, I don't know, last week when I was on vacation if Reinagel went through with John some of the questions, but how many games will the Cowboys win this season? 10-11 gets 49.6% of the vote. 35% say between 8 and 9. That surprises me, especially when Vegas has the Cowboys win total at either 7.5 or 8.5, depending on where you look. But only 7.7% say less than 8. Only 6.9 knuckleheads say 12 or more. What would you consider a good season? 38% say winning at least one playoff game. 31% say winning multiple playoff games. Having a winning record gets 7%. What do you consider a good season for the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, is it playoffs? Is it number of wins? Is it playoff wins? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. I mean, when you look at, if you're, I'm going to say being objective, but it's the Cowboys, and that makes it damn near impossible. But if you're being objective and you're looking at how you would consider a good season for the Cowboys this year, obviously, the goal is win the Super Bowl, okay? But right now, you've got a lot. I mean, Vegas win total is 7.5, 8.5. 10 wins doesn't guarantee you get in the playoffs. They are the third best team in the NFC East as we sit here on the 9th day of July, by all accounts. And again, if you're being fair. Now, you could argue second if you want to argue, saying Washington caught lightning in a bottle last year, and can they maintain that, or will there be a sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels? All of that, and all of that's fair. I mean, Dan Quinn and that group, they had a great year. The Texans become a great example of, do you build on an incredible rookie year for C.J. Stroud? There was a step back, right? Offensive coordinator for the Texans, he was a hot head coaching candidate. That first year stayed, and then he got fired, right? You saw Detroit. They built and maintained. The Houston Texans did not. Will Washington, that becomes a question. Every year there is a team that came out of nowhere and does well, and a team that was good that drops back. I mean, the league is designed, I know my math isn't right now because they have 17 games, but the league is designed to be 8-8, right? I know the math doesn't work now, but that's how the league is designed. Then you have some that win games that they don't normally win and lose games that they don't normally lose. Go look at the number of one-score games that Washington won last year. Will those be wins next year or they'll be losses? I mean, you know, so you could argue the Cowboys might be the second best team in the NFC East. But I think right now, as we get ready to start the season, if you were ranking them and you're being fair and honest, you would have Philadelphia, Washington, and Dallas than the Giants in the NFC East. So making the playoffs, you would say that'd be a pretty good year because that would be above expectation. Because I don't know how many people actually have the Cowboys in the postseason. Winning a playoff game, that'd be a great season. Winning multiple playoff games, getting to an NFC championship, yeah, I mean, but again, I think if you're being fair, how would you rate the Cowboys as a good season? Making the playoffs with this team, knowing what they're going against in the NFC East, let alone the NFC, I think making the playoffs is probably the right answer. Winning at least one playoff game was the winning answer for the question on the Athletic Fan Survey. Brian Schottenheimer, get into there. Let's see, what other questions do they have? How do you feel about how the Cowboys have handled their major contracts for Prescott, Lamb, and Parsons? 71.5% say they are among the league's worst. Yep.
Just 71?
Just 71. I don't know. 306 people said they're somewhere in the middle. That's 25%. 43%, I'm guessing with the last name Jones or with Cowboy employee badges, say they are among the league's best. Now, and again, so I mean, when you read some of these, you go, how in the hell am I supposed to take any of this serious? Because unless your name is Stephen Jones, you probably aren't thinking you're doing a great job, right?
You think if given truth serum, Stephen thinks they're doing a great job with contracts?
You know, I've been around Stephen when he's had some truth serum in him, if you know what I mean. And yeah, he thinks he's doing a great job. I mean, those parties that they throw out there, there's a lot of stuff flowing. And everything there is off the record, and it's very honest. And, yeah, he does think he's – I mean, here's the thing. 71.5% say they are among the league's worst. And that's where I would have voted. They do business differently, seemingly, than every other team. But they are consistent with how they handle their business. For whatever reason, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, they think they're doing it the right way. They're doing it in the best interest of the Dallas Cowboys, in their opinion. They don't give a damn what another team does or what some radio dude thinks down in San Antonio or Stephen A. or anybody else. They're doing business their way, and they're consistent about it. So it's not a surprise that Micah Parsons doesn't have a deal yet, because the surprise would be that the Cowboys actually did things the way we consider right. Kind of like officials. I just want my officials to be consistent. If it's a penalty in the first quarter, make it a penalty in the fourth, even if I think you're an idiot. The Cowboys are consistent with their idiocy in the way they handle their star players. Again, Cowboy fans, they don't like how the ownership group handles contracts, although front office grade this season, 42% give them a B. And I don't know if they would have had Parsons' deal done early, would that be an A? Because this year, you look at some of the moves they've made, you got to give them a ton of credit. They had a solid draft. They've made some key acquisitions. The Pickens trade, obviously one of the biggest moves in the NFL, not just with the Cowboys. in a lot of those one-year deals that they were able to get done, if some of those guys actually pan out, it's home runs. But all of those deals were low-risk, high-reward kind of contracts, and they're going to be healthier. The coaching hire, I mean, Brian Schottenheimer has won the offseason, in my opinion, but he's got to win games in September, October, more importantly, January, in my mind. But, I mean, so far, as much as I was down on the Schotty hire to begin with, I'm up. I can't wait to get out to Oxnard, to get around Brian Schottenheimer, be able to talk to him and see what he's like as a head coach. He would not have been my first or eighth choice probably for head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But after seeing and listening to him this offseason, I understand how he won Jerry over while in the room. And I think, obviously, a lot of fans feel that way as well, or they wouldn't have given the front office the kind of grade that they are. Some of the odd questions: how far are the Cowboys from winning a Super Bowl? Let's see. 3 to 4 years and 5 to 10 years. Got 27.6 and 27.7% of the votes. 22% say 1 to 2 years. I don't. Then you get into some of the players. Position group that gives you the most concern: running back and defensive tackle. Seems about right. Little surprised that offensive line was only 11%. I'm concerned there, but not. I mean, running back to me is the biggest. Here's the one that cracks me up.
Here we go.
Who is the team's most underrated player? Dak Prescott, followed by Deron Bland and Tyler Smith. Who is the team's most overrated player? Dak Prescott, followed by Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. How do you define overrated and underrated? And how is one dude the same? How can you be the most overrated player and the most underrated player on the same team? To me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then there's some on the list of overrated, like Mozzie Smith. How do you even get a vote? Unless you don't understand what overrated means. Biggest disappointment? Maybe. Because at some point, Mozzie Smith needs to do something or he's going to be out of a job. I find that funny. Let's see. Some of these questions. Now, this one's kind of interesting. Who, not named Micah Parsons, will have the most sacks? Dante Fowler comes in at number 1. Sam Williams at 2. Marshawn Nealand at 3. Now, I'll tell you, I look at that. Now, Fowler, maybe, but I really like Nealand. And whoever's opposite most of the time of Parsons is going to be able to eat. Right? Osi Odigizua has the ability to get in there. Although maybe under Eberflus, he's going to be more focused on run stopping than he is trying to get after the quarterback. And, man, I'd love for Sam Williams to turn into that dude. But I find that one pretty interesting. Who will have the most interceptions? Deron Bland is voted there. Lead the team in tackles. Leafau, linebacker, sure, that makes sense. Who will lead the team in rushing yards? I don't even know who's going to be the bell cow running back. I'm going to go Javonte Williams, although the fan vote says Jaden Blue. That might just be because more of the readers know who Jaden Blue is. Other got 5.8% of the vote. Other could only mean Deuce Vaughn. That ain't going to happen. How many passing yards for Dak Prescott as we go through the Athletic Fan Survey here on the Blitz? Pledge just hand-signed 4,500 yards. Cowboy fans say between 4,000 and 4,499, 44.8%. Only 34.8% say between 4,500 and 4,899. 7 say more than 4,900. 13 say less than 4,000. Those might be people that are anticipating he gets hurt and misses 10 games. I just look at this offense. CD, Pickens, Ferguson. A better run game than what we had last year. I don't know what Siri was thinking there with my iPhone, but whatever. That was random. You look at this offense. If the offensive line can be decent and the running game is decent, Dak should have a really good year with the weapons that he has to throw the ball to. Again, training camp in just a couple of weeks. Can't wait to get out to Oxnard, California. In the meantime, watching the Astros tonight, hoping they don't get swept by Cleveland. But I will have a pick-em entry for that game tonight because I love playing the pick-em game at Underdog. You, too, can go yard all baseball season with Underdog's pick-em game, one of the leading sports apps out there where you can make all your sports picks. Great app that has over 100,000 five-star reviews. And to build your pick-em entry, all you have to do is go higher or lower, choose higher or lower on predicted stats. Total bases, strikeouts, home runs, that sort of thing. And you can play for as little as $1. It's a lot of fun to play. So if you haven't, what have you been waiting for? Go download the Underdog app. Use my promo code STAR when you get signed up to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make that first deposit. Again, use promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Riding I-10 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Looking for a place with character, cold drinks, and real Texas charm? Pull up a chair at the Lion and Rose in the Dominion. This local favorite, run by the Tharp family, serves up Southern hospitality, military pride, and seriously good food. Happy hour daily from 3 till 7 p.m. with $2.50 drafts, select wine, wells, and mimosas. Plus, tasty bites from just $5. Big screens, bold flavors, and a patio made for post-game hangs. Now open at 23330 West I-10. The Lion and Rose.
Vacation mode? Check. Don't forget your furry friend. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit in Selma offers daycare, boarding, grooming, and more. Discounts for military teachers and first responders. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuit, where pets play, stay, and feel at home.
Here's Comedians and Sketchers Getting Comfortable, presented by Hands-Free Skechers Slip-Ins.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
Why did it take so long to invent something as amazing as Slip-Ins? I know it seems simple, but it took Skechers to invent a better pair of shoes.
Yep, with Skechers Slip-Ins, you just step it and go. You don't have to touch your shoes. And by the way, Slip-Ins are for the whole family, men, women, and kids, in all your favorite Skechers styles. Find Skechers Slip-Ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
If you've been injured in an accident, you know there's no shortage of attorneys who want your business. But when it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years. we've successfully represented thousands of injured Texans, earning over 12,000 five-star reviews on Google. So, who is the right attorney for you? Just look at the numbers. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
Are you ready for the all-new Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow and Fire? Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels Monster Trucks fly, crash, and smash. Thanks to Good to Crow, kids' ticket prices half off. Coming July 26th and 27th to Frost Bank Center in San Antonio. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
In college football, the Big 12 announced at their media day that their partnership with the WWE will include WWE SmackDown broadcasts in 4 Big 12 markets during the college football season that will occur at some of their bigger games. The Spurs made a trade late yesterday afternoon with the Washington Wizards, sending Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, and a 2026 second-round pick in exchange for big man Kelly Olynk. The Spurs also finished up California Summer League play with the last-second loss for the Los Angeles Lakers, falling 89-88. Up next is the Las Vegas Summer League, which starts tomorrow at 9 for the Spurs when they take on the 76ers.
SportsCenter brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowt.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hump day.
You know, I've been joking all day that Reinagel is drunk on a beach in Mexico. Well, I know I'm not joking, Pledge.
Hump day!
Reinagel actually tweeted out a photo of him drunk on the beach in Mexico wearing a Hump Day t-shirt.
Hump day!
Classic. You ever want to see Reinagel with his hair not quite perfect? He actually, and I'm surprised. I've known Joe a long time. I am surprised that Joe actually posted this photo. You know, we see this sometimes with the ladies. Felt cute, might delete later. When Joe sobers up and sees that, he's going to delete that photo because he does have a couple of hairs out of place.
I was going to say, that reminds me of the hair when y'all were at Circa and Sydney was there.
He was worried about other things when Sydney was there.
I'm very aware.
But, I mean, he might redo this with a hat on. But when Reinagel realizes in this photo, go to @JoeReinagel210, or I retweeted it @Jason Minix. Reinagel with the hair out of place, although he is wearing a Hump Day shirt. He's playing the part. You know, he's got a little FOMO. Surprised he hasn't called in drunk trying to do Hump Day live.
Hump Day!
Although we did have earlier today, Paul Salazar tweet us some video. Paul's son, I'm assuming son, PJ, had the video camera rolling, and he ran into Jeremy Sohan, and he asked Jeremy, what day is it?
Welcome back to my channel. We here, Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan, can I get a hump day, baby? Let's go! Go Spurs, go, baby!
That's awesome. Good stuff. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Jason Minix. You can get me on Twitter @Jason Minix. You can watch on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can also comment there. We'll talk coming up with NBA champ Antonio Daniels about the newest member of the San Antonio Spurs, Kelly Olynk. Played last year with New Orleans. Now a broadcaster for the Pelicans. I'm sure he's got some a great scouting report on Kelly and how he'll help the San Antonio Spurs. So it'll be a lot of fun to catch up with our old teammate Antonio Daniels coming up at 5:15. In the meantime, Big 12 Media Days are continuing up in Dallas. Lots of topics from the playoff model. 5+11 is the Big 12 talking point. To, of all people, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, saying, you know what, we need a salary cap.
I wish it was a cap. You know, like the top of the line player makes this, and if you're not that type of guy, you know you're not going to make that. That's what the NFL does. So the problem is you got a guy that's not that darn good, but he could go to another school and they give him $500,000, and you can't compete with that. That don't make sense. And you're talking about equality, not equality, like equal, I guess equality. And all you have to do is look at the playoffs and see what those teams spent. And you understand darn near why they're in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to compete with somebody who's giving $25-30 million to a darn freshman class.
Right.
It's crazy. We're not complaining because all these coaches up here can coach their butts off and give them the right opportunity with the right players and play here and there, you'll be there. But it's what's going on right now don't make sense. And we want to say stuff, but we're trying to be professional. But you're going to see the same teams darn near at the end and with somebody who sneaks up in there. But the team that pays the most is going to be there in the end.
I didn't hear any message like that from Deion last year when it was his kids getting the money. Now that they're gone, and he wasn't worried about somebody poaching Shedeur or Travis, but now he's losing guys and saying, I again, anybody else that says that, I'm probably like, yeah, I hear you. You sound like every other coach. Deion didn't sound like that when he first got to Colorado. And he didn't sound like that when it was his kid putting all that money in the pocket. Now, wait, this guy ain't very good and he's getting $500,000. I can't compete with that. I mean, I didn't think that guy was worth $200. You're going to give him $5. Now he's going to leave. What am I going to do? You got to pony up $300 more to get him to stay. It's what every other coach has to do. I mean, I don't disagree with Deion Sanders. There does need to be some kind of salary cap. Now, how you come up with that by Deion's model? How do you determine who's a top-of-the-line player and who isn't? I don't know. And again, is it if you're a starting quarterback at this level of school, this is the most you can make? I mean, if the quarterback at, it's Big 12 Media Days, right? If the quarterback at Baylor is making the same as the quarterback at TCU, that's making the same as the quarterback at Utah, is the same, I'm cool with that. And the same from your left tackle to, your kicker. If they come up with a rule like that, everybody's making the same, fine. But right now, you have a school like Texas Tech that says, what do we need? Oh, we need a linebacker. This dude over here asked for $5 million. I think he's serious. We'll give it to him. All right, there it is. And guess what? They got him. That's how it's working right now. So, Deion, your assessment of a player, your value, it's like everything else. What we want and what we can afford are two different things. Pledge, can I tell your business a little bit? Pledge got his car rear-ended a couple of weeks ago. Got a call yesterday. It's totaled. Sucks. Now he's got to go look for a car. What he wants and what he can get are two very different things. For all of us, it's that way. I'd love to have a Lambo. I can't. Right? Now you got to figure, all right, what are you going to get? I mean, what you want, what you can afford. And that's what college football coaches are dealing with right now. What they want, what they can afford. Somebody else sees more value in something. They want to overpay. In your mind, they're overpaying. Well, that's it. You go to an eBay auction. You might look at something and go, who's going to do that? Somebody actually, and talking about eBay auctions, literally, after the Metallica concert, a friend of mine sent me a link on eBay that there was a Metallica guitar pick from that show, that the bidding was well over $200. Really? I wouldn't pay that, but somebody will.
Imagine what the set list goes for.
I mean, but clearly somebody wanted that enough to spend that kind of school memento. I ain't paying that kind of money. You know, the Metallica show posters, they're $50 at the show on eBay. They're all $200, $300, $500. I mean, somebody sees value in that. So, hey, Prime, that guard that you think isn't worth $500,000, but somebody else does, guess what? Under the current rules, they're going. Hearing that from Deion Sanders versus hearing that from, I don't know, Mike Gundy, it just falls a little bit different. Then you get a Joey McGuire. He's spending money left and right. Listening to Mike Gundy talk earlier today, and again, every coach is dealing with this. He's talking about all these new faces. I think he said 18, 20 guys he's never actually seen practice because they got there in June. And he said, when we brought them in, we're paying them. We got to play them. Very different than what you normally see on a college campus. But he said, if we don't play them, why do we bring them in? Did we miss? Right? So these guys are going to play. They're going to have to figure it out. But then Mike Gundy said something. I don't know if this is just coach speak in today's world or not. But the idea of just bringing in all these new faces as a coach kind of gets you excited, a different kind of motivation.
Roster management now is 105, and then you get an additional players. I don't know what that title they're calling them, but basically walk-ons. So we should be at around 115, and I'm going to guess that 60% of those players weren't here last year. So if I was to try to use that, they would be scratching their head and really wondering what I was talking about. So I think it's important that each individual player has to find a way to motivate themselves in order to benefit our team. Now, we could have players that were on our team last year that are motivated by that, and that's okay. We're all different. Things that motivate me, the new trend, trying to stay on the cutting edge of the future of college football, learning more about the business side of college football. So that would be an example of what would motivate me to continue for our team to play well and win football games.
Did not expect that from Gundy, but you know what? He's right. And again, I guess if you're a coach in college football in 2025, that's the attitude you have to have. This is the current system. It changes all the time, but how do I adapt? Because like everything else, if you don't adapt, you're on your way out. Interesting. Talk more college football coming up, but coming up next, our good friend, former teammate here on San Antonio Sports Star, NBA champ Antonio Daniels. He joins us next to talk some Spurs here on the Blitz. Injuries happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocation, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
The Morning Huddle.
It's tennis elbow. If it's on the inside of your elbows, it's golfer's elbow. It's where those forearm muscles insert into your elbow, and for whatever reason, everybody will get it at some point.
But Rob doesn't work out, and he has well, I do certain things.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, you are left-handed. Never mind.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
They say all good things come to those who wait, but not for those who wait for that next auto breakdown that could cost you thousands of dollars. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance Auto Protection Plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you can never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-282-6709. That's 800-282-6709. 800-282-6709.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
When it comes to keeping your pumps running smooth, L&S Pump Repair has you covered. 24/7 on-site service for saltwater disposal and pump repairs. From Quintaplex to H-Pumps, they've got parts ready and the skills to get you back in the game fast. Need a whole new pump package? L&S builds custom skid packages too. Don't let knocking pumps or slow flow slow you down. Call L&S Pump Repair 936-853-3810. Keep your flow strong, San Antonio.
The San Antonio Spurs make a trade yesterday. Depth, three-point shooting, get a big. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. Kelly Olynk, now a member of the San Antonio Spurs. Let's talk about it with Pelicans TV Analyst, former teammate here at San Antonio Sports Star, and always an NBA champion, Antonio Daniels on the Buyers Barricades guest line. AD, appreciate you jumping on with us this afternoon.
For sure. Thanks for having me, brother. How are you?
I am fantastic, man, and I'm looking at this Spurs offseason, and quite honestly, I wanted him to go a little bit faster, be a little bit more aggressive. Coming in, go get a sharp-shooting three-point guy. And the Spurs are saying, we got to work on defense first. And I think with the 2 moves that they've made, that seems to be a plan. Different than what I was thinking, but I like the 2 moves that they have made.
Okay, so let me ask you a question first. When you say go out and get a sharp-shooting three-point guy, who'd you have in mind?
Kevin Durant.
No. Here's the other question. Have the Spurs ever gone big game hunting?
No, but
this is the thing. I don't understand why people expect the San Antonio Spurs to be something now that they've never been. They've never done that. They've never been the type to skip steps because skipping steps doesn't work, right? We saw Phoenix try and skip steps. You see what they ended up with Kevin Durant. We saw Milwaukee try and skip steps. They got rid of Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. Then they ended up waiving Damian Lillard and stretching him out. They're paying him $22.5 million over the next 5 years, and he's not even there. Like, that's not the San Antonio Spurs way of doing things. They do things organically, and they add pieces to the puzzle that make sense.
I 100% agree. And again, the trade for De'Aaron Fox last year, I thought when they made that move at the time, that was the difference between being a play-in and a playoff team. And obviously they only got 5 games before they had to shut down Wemby. So I thought they might be a little more aggressive. And knowing that KD only had 2 years left on his deal, it doesn't mess up financially when they've got to pay Wemby and Steph Castle. So I thought, all right, maybe they might do a little bit out of the box thinking, a little bit out of the norm, kind of like when they brought in Chris Paul, that veteran guy that can teach but can also help. But I also said on the air, AD, the whole time, just don't overspend for him. And the reported offer that they made is there, and they ultimately didn't overspend.
Right, and that's the thing. It's not, and I mean this respectfully though. Like, we want certain things, but then don't want to pay for those certain things. Well, I want Kevin Durant, but I don't want you to overspend for Kevin Durant. Like, no, those two things don't go hand in hand together. If you want someone like Kevin Durant, you have to spend. You have to gut your team to a certain degree to get someone like Kevin Durant. And the Spurs haven't been about that. Like, I will say this. I love, and you know what, a lot of times what you hear, Jason, is when you have an analyst of a team and it's a particular player that leaves that team, they talk about that player a certain way. But then when he leaves, they talk about that player a different way. Mm-hmm. Like when he's playing for your team, it's like, oh, my gosh, this guy's great. And then he leaves, it's like, oh, well, you know what, he's okay. He's all right. Yeah. I will say this. I don't know how much Spurs fans had an opportunity to watch Kelly Olynk play. I love Kelly Olynk. I loved him last year in the Pelicans uniform. For a 7-footer, he is so incredibly skilled. He's a great lob thrower, very high basketball IQ, very crafty. He can stretch the floor. I loved Kelly Olynk in New Orleans last year. Now, he played 44 games because at one point he got hurt, his back, and at the end of the year he ended up being shut down because of his Achilles, and also, you know, New Orleans is trying other things. Mm-hmm. But the overall skill set, because for me, anytime there's a free agent or trade acquisition, I don't look at the numbers. I don't look at the name. I look at the fit. I look at the skill set. How does his skill set complement what Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle and these other guys need him to be? And I think Kelly Olynk will be a great fit in San Antonio.
Well, I think about a couple of games, and quite honestly, I'll tune into a Pelicans game because it's you and Joel. But watching him throw a lob pass to Zion, I can only imagine now. As soon as I heard that trade, that's the first visual I had was some lobs to Vic.
Right. He's like last year with the Pelicans. You can argue at 7 foot, he was the best lob thrower on the Pelicans roster. I don't know how many lobs that he threw to Zion last year. And you know what lobs take? It takes seeing something in advance. You don't see that a lot from 7-footers. We used to see Tim Duncan throw lobs to David Robinson, but it was an actual set play. Kelly Olynk has a very, very high basketball IQ. It's one thing to be able to see something, like to actually be able to see it. It's another thing to have the skill set to deliver it. You know, Nikola Jokic sees passes no other bigs can see, but he also has a skill set to deliver passes no other big can deliver. Kelly Olynk at 7 foot has a skill set where he's able to see certain passes, but also can deliver those passes. That's impressive.
Antonio Daniels joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Obviously, with this move, Spurs are helping the front court. They get size. His three-point shooting, and I like the numbers, but like you said, the fit. Does he help with what I was saying I wanted with the three-point shooter? Can he answer that, or is he coming in as a role player off the bench? And, you know, I mean, how ultimately do you see him fitting in also with Luke Cornett, who they got from Boston?
Well, here's the thing. In today's NBA, the double big lineup is working its way back. That's a new thing. right? So we saw them do it in Minnesota. We saw them do it in Oklahoma City. We saw them do it in New York. You can go down to different teams that have done it and been successful in doing it. But for it to work and be successful, one of those bigs has to be able to step out and stretch the floor. So I completely understand getting Luke Cornett. I completely grasp the concept. Because if you play him with Kelly Olynk or you play him with Victor Wembanyama, he's the guy that remains around the basket. I get it. Now, when you put Kelly Olynk out there with Victor Wembanyama, you get that same dynamic. One of those guys can play closer to the rim. The other one can step out. Is Kelly Olynk a 45% three-point shooter? No. Does he shoot the three ball well enough to keep someone else honest? Yes. Can you put a small on him and get away with it? No. I saw that numerous times last year because one of the best things that Kelly Olynk gave the Pelicans last year was size and the ability to take advantage of mismatches. You know, in today's NBA, there are a lot of small fours. So when Kelly Olynk started at the 4 alongside Yves Missi, it gave the Pelicans a physicality advantage at that 4 spot and the 3 spot because Zion was playing at the 3. So I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know what their plans are for him. All I can say is the experience that I had with him covering him last year. Great dude, great teammate, very high basketball IQ, and excellent skill set for a guy that's 7 foot.
And certainly sounds like a guy that's going to fit in well with the Spurs, kind of like Luke Cornett, and the Spurs doing things the Spurs way. Role players that understand their role and are willing to take on that responsibility, not more, not less. They know exactly what they are here to do.
Yep. That's why they've never gone big game hunting. That's why. Because they would rather do it the organic way. We talked about the Spurs on my show today for a lengthy amount of time. Talked about the Spurs. We talked about Oklahoma City because we had a long conversation surrounding the collective bargaining agreement, this new CBA, and what this looks like for teams that are actually doing it the right way. For teams that draft well, develop that talent, eventually it comes to a point where you're going to have to pay that talent. But this new CBA doesn't allow teams that are doing it the right way to keep that team together for a sustained amount of time.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see because, like you mentioned, Oklahoma City and the amount of money that they've doled out this offseason to Chet and SGA.
Right.
And but all those draft picks, some of those other guys, like maybe a Lou Dort, might not be able to keep you, but I can draft your replacement.
And that's a problem. And see, what people think is just because you have a draft pick that you can replace someone that's been there. You can't replace chemistry. You can't replace a guy who understands his role and willing to be a star in his role. Because it won't just be Lou Dort. It'll be Lou Dort. It'll be Aaron Wiggins. And it'll be Isaiah Joe. It'll be those kind of guys. Because they just put $280 million out for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, $250 out for Chet Holmgren. They still have to extend J-Dub. Remember, they gave Isaiah Hartenstein almost $80 million last year. They gave Alex Caruso almost $80 million. So it comes to a point where this team will start to come apart at the seams. We saw it with the Boston Celtics, right? Once they took care of Tatum and Brown and they brought in Porzingis and Drew Holiday and Derek White, it was great when they were winning, but the moment that they weren't winning, it was time to tear the team apart. Now that Boston Celtics team will look completely different now moving forward. But they did things the right way, right? They drafted Jason Tatum. They drafted Jaylen Brown. They drafted Peyton Pritchard. They drafted Sam Hauser. They drafted Luke Cornett. They drafted all those guys, developed all those guys, and it comes to the point you have to pay all those guys. And this new CBA doesn't allow you the opportunity to do all that correctly.
Antonio Daniels joining us here on The Blitz, the color analyst for New Orleans Pelicans television. He also does a show on Sirius XM talking NBA. Always fun when you jump on, your old radio home here in San Antonio, 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. So kind of going back to the Spurs plan, doing it the right way. And I've kind of floated this a couple of times. Is Brian Wright and the front office looking at where they are right now in the Western Conference, where you've got a Denver, you've got an Oklahoma City? I love what Houston has done this offseason. And even with Wemby, even with Fox saying, are we good enough right now to compete for a championship, or do we wait a year or two? and let those teams kind of cycle with what you're talking about with the new CBA rules, and they can strike when other teams are on their way down, the Spurs are going to be on their way up?
Well, I feel like Victor Wembanyama has expedited the process. I feel like he sped up the process because I think many of us felt like he was going to be good, but did many of us think he was going to be this good and this impactful this quickly? So what now that forces you to do is when you may have thought at one point we're on a 5-year plan, now that plan became a 2-year plan. That's why they went out and got Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes. That's why they went out and got some veterans, Kelly Olynk, some of the De'Aaron Fox, because the plan to build over time has been expedited. Now you got to win. You got to win. And the thing is, I don't know if the San Antonio Spurs are talking about a championship right now, but what you're doing, you're developing championship habits now. So when that opportunity does come, you're prepared for it. What they don't want to do is, and they really didn't have a choice this past year. When Victor Wembanyama gets hurt, when he goes down, everything kind of goes with it. Then De'Aaron Fox gets hurt. But now moving forward, I know they're not coming into the season saying, well, you know what, let's just kind of sit back and wait our turn. No, they want to make the playoffs. They want to make the playoffs. There are steps to this.
And everybody listening to you right now wants to see the Spurs get into the playoffs. This has been a long, long drought here in San Antonio. So let me ask you, with the moves that they have made, obviously drafting a Dylan Harper, the two outside new pieces that come in and, with what's left, what has left the building, I don't know. I don't want to say they're not going to miss, but, obviously they've gotten better. But have they improved enough as we sit right now on the 9th of July to say they're a top 6 team in the West? Would you look at this team as a playoff team or a play-in caliber team?
I'll put it to you like this. If you have Victor Wembanyama, you have a chance. As long as you have a healthy Victor Wembanyama, you get Victor Wembanyama to play 70 games, you definitely have a chance to make the playoffs. I'll put it to you like that because he's that good. He's that impactful. I have said this before. I have said this numerous times on different platforms. If you can scroll to settings, go to settings, scroll down to injuries, cut injuries off, this young man has to be the opportunity to be the best player to ever pick up a basketball. I honestly feel that way. That's how impactful Victor Wembanyama is. I'm not comfortable saying if Victor Wembanyama plays 70 games that the San Antonio Spurs cannot be a playoff team. No, because I feel like he's that good and that impactful on both sides of the basketball.
And have they done enough around him in your mind?
Well, it's not about what they're simply doing. It's about guys continuing to grow, right? De'Aaron Fox is a baller. De'Aaron Fox is a baller. So they're a match made in heaven to me, those two. And now you put in guys like Stephon Castle, allow Dylan Harper the opportunity to grow. And here's the thing. This is what made San Antonio and what they did even before this summer great. They didn't have to touch their core. They didn't have to touch Jeremy Sohan. They didn't have to touch Keldon Johnson. They didn't have to touch some of these other guys. Like, they didn't have to get rid of Stephon Castle. So they had an opportunity to build around Victor Wembanyama while keeping their young core in place. So now these guys just get an opportunity to continue to grow together. The more reps they have together, the better they'll be together.
Antonio Daniels joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Loves the Kelly trade that they made yesterday. One question about him, because he seems like he's the right guy, even going back to when he was in college at Gonzaga. Why has he been so well-traveled the last couple of years?
I don't know. I was just talking to your producer, Pledge, before this about that. I don't know. This league is about opportunity and fit. And a lot of times it's just about finding the right place with the right coach at the right time under the right system with the right teammates. But I tell you this, he is a great teammate. He is a great dude. He doesn't complain. He comes in, he works his tail off, he does his job, he plays hard, and he's skilled. It'll be interesting to see how all of that meshes here in San Antonio.
Knucklehead question, but does he get an apartment here or get the extended stay? Clearly, he's not buying, right?
Oh well, honestly, I don't think very many guys are buying somewhere where they're not staying. Like, even if he knew he was going to be here for a couple of years, I don't even think guys will buy.
I'm looking at it like I get home yesterday and I see that and I'm excited because I like the player and I'm like, I mean, and then you start looking at how well traveled he's been and you go, okay, what's the red flag there that I'm missing? And even you're kind of wondering the same thing, although it does feel like this would be a great fit for him and the San Antonio Spurs.
And I'll tell you this, it was a great fit for him in New Orleans. He was a great fit in New Orleans. You know, again, his skill set, his personality, his leadership, like the way that he came to games and practice every day, he showed up, he was professional, he was punctual. And here's the thing. Sometimes when guys come in, I don't have the experience of knowing them personally. You know what I mean? Of being at shoot-around, of being at practice. But I covered Kelly last year in New Orleans. And again, I'm not going to be that analyst that was a big fan of his last year with the Pelicans, and now he's gone to be like, oh, well, you know what? He's okay. I was a fan of him last year in New Orleans, and I'm a fan of him now in San Antonio.
Going to be a great fit. Be fun times. Antonio Daniels, always fun catching up, my friend. We need to do this more often.
For sure. Anytime, Jason. Let me know, brother.
Antonio Daniels, the color analyst for the New Orleans Pelicans, does a show on Sirius XM and, of course, won a ring playing for the Spurs back in 1999. Great stuff. Antonio Daniels on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. We got a pair of tickets to give away to go see Queensryche December 13th at the Aztec Theater. If you don't win the tickets, you can always buy them at livenation.com. Let's give those to caller 13 right now, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 13, you're going to see Queensryche. As we continue here on the Blitz, we'll react to some of the stuff Antonio had to say. The comments on our YouTube channel going wild. You can go read them there at the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. And the Bible. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine was in the mailbox this morning. Went through it. We'll talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94. The College of Healthcare Professionals and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Take a swing at picking baseball this season on Underdog. Hi, Jason Minix here from the Blitz. Underdog is a leading place to make all your sports picks. Millions of fans have won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? It is easy and fun to do. I love playing the Pick'em game on Underdog. All you have to do is download the Underdog app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. And you can play for as little as $1. So download the Underdog app. Sign up now with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, use my promo code STAR when you sign up at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
James Pledger had so much fun telling a whole bunch of people they weren't winners because we already had caller 13. Gets to do it again because we got a $50 gift card to give away to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. You want $50 to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill? Be caller 5 right now. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel, he's got the day off. He's got the week off. He's drunk on a beach in Mexico right now, and there's photographic evidence that he tweeted out. And I'll tell you, I do think this is a Twitter photo that he'll delete later. I retweeted it at Jason Minix. You could see it at Joe Reinagel 210 because his hair is out of place. So it's a little messed up. Now, obviously, he's at the beach. Looks like he's at the pool. Got a shirt on that says Hump Day because he's celebrating. But even Red Roddy's one tweets out, Joe's hair's out of place and a little gray. But Hump Day, enjoy your vacation. That tweet right there, Red Roddy's, might ruin his vacation. He's gonna spend the rest of the time looking in the mirror trying to get the hair perfect and wondering where that gray is. And I've known Joe a long time. He doesn't dye his hair. I'm Jason Minix on Twitter at Jason Minix. Glad to have you along here on this Wednesday afternoon. Speaking of things I saw on Twitter, Nate Ryan from Ken's TV tweeted out, shout out to FC Dallas, who hosted the Kerrville Tivy boys soccer team at Toyota Stadium and gave them a day in the life of Major League Soccer. Tivy is mourning the loss of beloved soccer coach Reese Zunker, who lost his life in the Hill Country floods. And Coach Zunker, Reese Zunker, who was the coach at Kerrville Tivy, played at New Braunfels Canyon. Him, his wife, and his kids passed away in the tragedy. But Nate Ryan said it best. Shout out to FC Dallas. Inviting those soccer players up, knowing everything that they're going through and giving them that experience. Well done, FC Dallas. And again, you think about wanting to help. On our website, sasportstar.com, there is all the information you need if you want to donate money. There's the links there, food items, other items. If you want to sign up to help with all the work that needs to be done, there's ways to do that. And this list is kind of a verified, vetted, curated list from proper officials. You know, if you go on Facebook, you go on social media, you see different links saying they're raising money for, but you're not really sure if they're legit or not. And unfortunately, in today's world, you always have to worry about crap like that. This list is verified and vetted. These are where the officials have said, tell the public these are the ones we need you to donate to. This is the list of stuff that we need. And that information is available at sasportstar.com. The Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine was in the mailbox this morning. The Bible, if you will. And really one of the signs that football season is close. You don't need binoculars anymore to see football season. It is on the horizon. You know, it's July 9th. On July 26th, the San Antonio Sports Star crew, we get on our private jet known as Southwest Airlines, and we head out to Los Angeles as we get ready for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. That's just a couple weeks away. I mean, it really is. We are less than 2 months away from the first Sunday of NFL football. College football, right around high school football. It's all there, and you know it's close when that Dave Campbell shows up in your mailbox or you see it on the shelves at H-E-B, Walmart, wherever you get your magazines. Sark on the cover this year, gazing off into the future, staring at a national championship trophy. The question is, are they going to get there? And I love going through it and diving through it because it's a focus on Texas. And no other state does things like Texas. You talk to a high school coach that maybe coached somewhere else, and everybody, Pennsylvania, high school football, California, Florida. As the national radio broadcaster for a decade and a half for the now called the Navy All-American Bowl, you talk to these guys, and they all tell you nobody does it quite like Texas, and there's nothing quite like the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. But it's more than just to focus on the high schools. It's deep dives into all the college teams, the 13 FBS teams that are in the great state of Texas. No surprise, Texas is number one on the Texas FBS Power Poll. What does surprise me is who they have at number 2, and they have Texas Tech. Texas A&M is at number 3. Surprised at number 4, although I shouldn't be, SMU, Baylor at 5. And the reason I say Texas Tech and SMU are a little bit of a surprise, because of the SEC bias, I would think it would be Texas and then Texas A&M and then Texas Tech. SMU, as much money as they've spent, and hell, they were in the playoffs last year, still not really on the radar for everybody, right? I mean, or at least for me, that was a surprise. And I think unless you got a degree from SMU, you probably aren't thinking SMU very much. And I think it's two-part. One, they went to the Atlantic Coast Conference, so they don't play anybody around the area anymore. And unless you're in Dallas in the rich parts, you don't think about SMU. Now, granted, that could change over time. But as of right now, when I saw that, I was like, SMU, oh, yeah, I forgot. They were in the playoffs last year. Huh. Baylor at number 5. TCU, Houston, and then UTSA at number 8. North Texas at 9. Texas State at 10. Then UTEP, Rice, and the Sam Houston Bearcats, number 13. Phil Longo, their new coach, and I've known Phil a long time. He replaces Casey Keeler, who left Sam after a long time at Sam. I'm really surprised Casey Keeler left, although got big money to go to Temple, and he's from that area. In fact, before heading to Sam Houston, Casey Keeler won a national championship at Delaware with Joe Flacco. He won a national title with Sam Houston in my daughter's senior year, which was very cool when she was an undergrad there at Sam Houston State. I thought he'd be there forever, but money talks. Ask any of these players that have hit the portal, and but Casey got a chance to get closer to home. I do think they will be better than that, but they've got a lot of work to do. But when you start diving through and you look at the power poll and some of the different write-ups that they have in the magazine are just interesting. And one of the ones that I thought was interesting in their writers poll is who is the best FBS head coach in the state of Texas. Now, obviously, the cover boy is Steve Sarkisian, and he gets a lot of run, and he should. Jeff Traylor, though, makes the list, according to Dave Wilson from ESPN. He lists Jeff Traylor as the best coach in the state of Texas. Rhett Lashley at SMU gets a couple of votes as well. But it's pretty high praise for UTSA head coach Jeff Traylor to get listed there, to have somebody list him there. Greg Luca from the Express News, he went Sark. Now, granted, people would call him out probably if he went Jeff Traylor. You think about all the money that's being spent up in Lubbock. To me, Joey McGuire has the hottest seat, maybe not in Texas, but in the country. When you look at the amount of money that is spent for Texas Tech football, if Joey McGuire doesn't win, that dude might be fired. And it's not just Joey McGuire. Could be the athletic director in today's world. Could be the school president because of the revenue share. Accountability, when you're talking about that kind of money, goes deeper than just your head football coach. I mean, there's general managers there as athletic directors, but with revenue share, that also stops with the president. Are they spending the money wisely? Although Joey McGuire only gets one nod as the hottest seat by the end of the season. Dave Aranda at Baylor gets a handful of votes. Sonny Dykes gets 2. Eric Morris at North Texas gets 2. And Scotty Walden, he's the coach at UTEP, and nobody knew that. His name is on the list. I am surprised more of these people did not put Joey McGuire. Now, I know Dave Aranda is an easy choice because I'm surprised he's still the coach after the last couple of years. But the amount of money being spent in Lubbock, I think, just puts the pressure on Joey McGuire so much more. Unless, of course, internally, Joey knows this, that rich dude that's spending all the money knows this, the AD knows this, the president knows this. What are realistic expectations? And unless Texas Tech just falls flat on their face, maybe Joey McGuire's seat isn't as hot as I think it is. But when you're spending that kind of money, I think accountability is going to run deeper, not just in Lubbock, but everywhere. As far as success goes, who will win the ACC? Clemson or Miami, but overwhelmingly Clemson. Who wins the Big 12? Texas Tech gets a lot of nods. Kansas State gets 4. Baylor only 1. By that, I'd say Joey's safe and Dave Aranda is not. Who's going to win the SEC? Now, granted, this is Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 votes for Texas, 2 for Georgia, 1 for Alabama. I think most national magazines don't have that many Longhorn symbols when it comes to that. Who will win the American? Not a single writer in this poll picked UTSA. That surprises me a little bit. Tulane, Memphis, no surprise there. But there's 1 vote for South Florida and 1 for Army. Not one of them people picked Navy. Navy's got a great quarterback coming back. National champion, 2 pick the Longhorns. 3 select Penn State. 2 Oregon. 1 Clemson. 1 Ohio State. Find that interesting. No surprise that nobody picked UTSA to win the American because Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine predicts they will go 8-4. What surprises me is knowing how good Jeff Traylor is at home, 29-3 in the Dome. They have at UTSA, and going through the schedule, win-loss, which I always find dumb, but they've got losing at home to North Texas, at North Texas, so that's not home, losing at home to Tulane and losing at home to Army. Now, obviously, those are two of the tougher home games that UTSA will face in conference. Obviously, Texas State non-conference, although they do have that as a win. But I am a little surprised that they have 2 home losses for UTSA, although against Tulane and Army. Then they pick Army as the upset game for UTSA, so make that make sense. Go through Dave Campbell's. I always love it. Good stuff. Can't wait for football. Interesting stuff on the high school front as well. Start to cough at the end of the show. Perfect timing. That means my voice is running out at the end of the show. Some things get timed perfectly. Morning Huddle tomorrow morning from 6 to 10. Extra innings with Pledge next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding I-35 with the Blitz.